Just a Rinnegan? That's not enough. I want the Tenseigan too. Hey, fanfic family. So glad to see you here again to continue this incredible adventure. As always, kindly remember, this story is 100% fiction, so don't go looking for dimensional portals in your closet. All rights to this fantastic novel belong to the original author. We're just your humble narrators of epic tales. Are you enjoying the fanfic? Show it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and dropping us a like. And if you're impatient for more exclusive content, our Patreon is your happy place. Chapter 101. Your Majesty, think twice. When Li Qing heard the man's decision, his face changed. The middle-aged man smiled and said nothing, his eyes signaling him to continue. Your Majesty, I don't think you should directly cut off the resources of other academies. If you do so, it will make them more inclined and even dependent on the family. The middle-aged man poured a cup of tea without hurry, and drank it himself. If I give them resources, they won't gravitate towards the family. Li Qing was speechless. So, whether I give it or not, they will be close to the Saga Alliance, because this is their only way out so far. Duman, Shengmi. Instead of this, it is better to directly judge and decide. 100. For so many years, the family has eaten our resources, developed and strengthened its own body, and its strength is strong, but the spirit beast tide has not helped once. A bunch of selfish guys who still think we're being generous to them. Li Qing thought carefully for a while, and it seemed that this was the truth. The middle-aged man smiled, patted Li Qing's shoulder and said, "Ai Qing, there's nothing wrong with you. The only drawback is that you are indecisive and too kind. It's okay to be kind to your own people, but you must be ruthless to your enemies. If you are not ruthless, they will not be afraid of you. Has your Majesty ever been ruthless?" Li Qing's words made the middle-aged man stunned. "I'm not ruthless yet, huh?" The man waved his hand, signaling that he was tired and ready to rest. Li Qingsang retreated. When there was no one in the room, the middle-aged man tightened his fur and leisurely looked out the window at the darkness of the lost sunlight. It's going to change. The great Xia dynasty has indeed changed. The fall of the academy, coupled with a series of announcements from the national government at noon today. The content of the notice can be summarized as, public colleges headed by Rinnegan College will not be recognized by the Great Xia national government from today onwards, and will immediately stop resource allocation. As of this year, diplomas issued by its colleges are not officially recognized. Under the circular, there are 6 officially designated colleges. This announcement made the other college deans who supported Dean Guzi of Rinnegan look stupid. What's the situation? They originally thought that the 6 Daos and the desolate ancient would be miserably abandoned by the national government, but they never expected that they would be abandoned. What to do? Let's hurry up and talk to Dean Gu. Talk about what? The family was seriously injured and sent home. What do you mean? Public hospitals don't accept it anymore. Or you think? The royal family either does not shoot, and as soon as it strikes, it will be sanctioned, and it will be difficult for you to ask? The royal family can't do much to the family, but it's more than enough to deal with your group of little deans. It is said that Guzi, the dean of Rinnegan Academy, is now lying at home to recuperate. He was kicked by Li Qing and broke his spine, and if nothing else, he could only live in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Today's academic schools are in a hurry, and major colleges continue to receive withdrawal applications. Not only those who have not yet enrolled in the school will have to withdraw from school, but even students who have already enrolled must withdraw from school. It's uncomfortable, it's really uncomfortable. Most of the children of the family are transfer students, that is, they come in by relationship, so the fee will be relatively high. However, most of the students are ordinary family students, especially in a school like Feudal Academy, which is not high or low, and the children of the family can't look at it. If you want to say the winner, I am afraid that only Rinnegan Academy. After all, the people have a good foundation, excellent teachers, and the training venues and facilities and equipment are all first class. As soon as this announcement from the Great Xia Mansion came out, almost all the ordinary family students immediately ran away. Academic qualifications that are not recognized by the national government, read it out as fart use? Could it be that you want me to die and become a dog? What about Guzi? I'm going to see him. Ask him for an explanation. That's right, I'll go too. How he promised us the benefits in the first place, he must do it. What? You guys turned out to be taller? The other deans are stupid. It turns out that for half a day, what kind words for everyone's well-being, are all false. They were all pitted. They regretted it a lot, and they knew that they would not listen to Guzi's rumors. When a school cannot guarantee the employment rate of students, no one will look at the best environment. Some deans once met with the leaders of the state education office and made it clear that they knew that they were wrong, and they were willing to return to the imperial court and ask for a way to live. The state education office replied, "The school can stay, people, you can go by yourself." "What? Can't be a dean anymore? Then I might as well go back to be a dog for the family." The dean of the academy, this beautiful errand of fishing for oil and water, no one is willing to give up at all. So, the vice president of Lingayan College contacted the Shangji Alliance and asked for cooperation. As soon as the Saga Alliance heard it, someone actually sent charcoal in the snow. However, the people of the family are not stupid. They know that these 14 colleges, and now there is no second way to go except to obey them and give them cattle and horses. As a result, the Saga Alliance kept conditions low. Although the resources can be obtained from the Maison, they are not free and require a certain fee to purchase. Isn't this left-handed in and right-handed out? Even we have to advance money. There was an angry response from the dean. Only then did the deans of the 14 academies remember that Li Qing and the others were good as well as the national government. Over the years, the national government has not only provided a large number of cultivation resources, but also provided internship training venues free of charge, and all the resources obtained during the internship belong to the academy. The Saga Alliance set a series of harsh rules for the 14 academies. Every condition, before it is done, this group of deans is absolutely impossible to agree. But now there is nowhere to go and I have to give in. What they didn't expect was that something worse happened. Previously, it was the students who asked to withdraw from the school, and now the teachers resigned en masse. Over the years, most of the teachers in the college have been cultivated step by secular outstanding students. Now they heard that their academy actually wants to be a dog for the family? How does this work? Let's not mention that the teachers have a grudge with the family, just the beasts of the family who eat people and do not spit out bones, and work for them? Is it too long? Many people don't even want their salaries, they immediately run away and can't find them. The leaders of the 14th college are stupid. Students can recruit again, but what about teachers? Every teacher with rich teaching experience is hard to find. Well, no matter how famous your academy was before, it has now become an empty shell. I have to say that this trick of the Great Xia Mansion is really amazing. Li Qing and Fang Yu laughed loudly in the original academic conference room. Many teachers in their academy have contacted me and want to join us, and it seems that the college has to expand. Li Qing had worry in his eyebrows. The biggest problem now is not our source of life, but strength. Fang Yu smiled. This is not simple. Let Yuanjie and Yuanjie join us? Listening to the Taiyan god, now Yuanjie's strength has reached the demigod. Li Qing shook his head with a wry smile. How can it be so easy? Chapter 102. Just when Li Qing and Fang Yu were discussing fiercely how to recruit the Yuanjie sisters and brothers, the swift wind god came. Yaheo first bowed, and then said, "Dean, I have decided to join the Zio organization." Zio, Li Qing's expression froze. He had heard about this organization before. Didn't it just destroy the Ning family's group of people? That's right, Yaheo nodded. Yuanjie just found me and talked to me for a long time. Fang Yu wrinkled his eyebrows and asked, "What did you all talk about?" This is inconvenient to reveal. I hope to understand. Seeing that Fang Yu was ready to go crazy, Li Qing stopped him. He pretended to be calm and asked the wind god, "What conditions did he give you?" Yaheo shook his head and said, "There are no conditions, just a promise." "What promise?" There is revenge. When the wind god Yaheo said this, there was light in his eyes. Li Qing immediately understood that Yaheo's background was better known to him than anyone. He waved his hand. "Okay, I'll how, you go." "Well done." Deanzi, Feng Yu wanted to stop talking, and could only watch the other party leave. "Teacher, why are you? Yaheo's personality is not suitable for us, let him go." Yuanjie spoke with his sister for a long time last night, and he listened to her opinion. It's simple, dig the foot of the wall. Therefore, he investigated the tragic past of the wind god Yaheo through the wind and rain tower, and then persuaded the other party with his mouth and successfully absorbed the general. He flew up, looked at the family territory from afar, and muttered, "Which one is the next target? At present, there are 6 ways of pain, count them, and the combat power is about equal to 1 god. There is also my sister Yuanjie and her 2 best friends, I heard that they have also reached the combat power of God. Coupled with the words of the wind god, there are probably 5 gods. This kind of combat power, as long as you don't touch the 3 major families, other families can still fight casually. The question is, when they start, will the Saga Alliance army come over? However, even if he comes over, he is not afraid. He is a man with divine power. If you can't beat it, it's a big deal to hide in. The Kamui space is a space that is independent of all spaces, and no one else can enter it except for himself, who has the key. Yuanjie flipped through the information in his hand and drew a circle on a surname. It's decided, the next one to exterminate the clan, it's you. Yuanjie returned home and found that Li Tiansha had just returned from training. Why haven't you rested yet? Li Tiansha did not answer him, and was watching TV with his own care. Yuanjie went directly to the room to take a shower, and when he came out, he found her sitting on the sofa and falling asleep. He walked over, pinched her face a little, and said distressedly, "You are so tired in the future, don't wait for me to go home." What a little fool. Yuanjie picked up Li Tiansha by the waist, kicked her door, and found that it was actually locked. How did this door lock itself? Brother Jay was puzzled. He put Li Tiansha into the Shinwei space first, and then walked in with Luring himself, and then put her down. He helped her cover the quilt and carefully instructed, "It's autumn, the weather is getting cooler, don't kick the quilt." Finally, he brushed her hair, lifted the strap that had slipped down her shoulder, and stared at her perfect side for a long time. With a final sigh, he blurred and left her bedroom. Just as he got up to leave, someone's eyelashes trembled. Early, it was another sunny day, and Yuanjie saw that Li Tiansha was still getting up early as always. Every day, 10 years, since she came to her house, she has made breakfast every morning. "School is about to start, are you nervous?" Yuanjie asked after taking a bite of the buns. Li Tiansha was silent, and she shook her head. The summer vacation in this world is only 1 month, unlike the original world where it is 2 months. Is the schedule out? Yuanjie was stunned. He really didn't know about this. He had been living in the southeast of the desolate ancient academy for almost a month, except for daily training. He was making trouble everywhere, and he had never paid attention to it. Li Tiansha suddenly smiled. She pushed his forehead and said with disgust, "I know you don't know, it was only announced today. Let's take a look later." This action of hers reminded him of someone. Then he shook his head and threw away the figure of the person, thinking about another woman in front of a woman, which is not good. Strictly speaking, this is a mental derailment. After breakfast, the two strolled around the campus together. After coming for so long, Yuanjie was still visiting the desolate ancient academy for the first time. The overall design of the ancient academy is relatively atmospheric, probably similar to the Qin and Han period buildings in the original world. Magnificent palaces are scattered around every corner, exuding majesty. They came to Weiyang Palace, which was the administrative center of the ancient academy, and the offices of Dean Li Qing and other leaders were in various rooms inside. Walking up a full 1,000 meters of carved dragon jade steps, they found that many people had gathered so early. Looking at the costume, like them, they are all children of secular families. Yuanjie can see the schedule clearly from a distance with his white eyes, but Li Tiansha seems to be very excited, so let her go together. Finally, the two squeezed to the front of the crowd. The names in front of you are densely packed with names, which makes people overwhelmed. This year is more special, because it broke with the Saga Alliance, in order to cultivate more civilian geniuses, by the way, strengthen the strength of the desolate ancient academy. Therefore, the admission conditions were relaxed, and even the A-level physique was accepted. This year, there are 5,000 new students, much more than in previous classes. Brother G, we are all assigned to shift. Good luck. It is said that the students in the first class were personally led by Li Qing, the dean of the Wasteland Ancient Academy, which shows its importance. At this time, someone around him wondered, how can there be an F-grade physique messing in, also assigned to shift? SHH, don't talk nonsense. I heard that Li Tiansha is the anti-scale of the SSS-level genius Yuanjie. Don't have an opinion, don't be heard by him if you have an opinion. It turned out to be by relationship. Alice, I really envy her. Yuanjie smiled dumbly. Sorry, he had already heard it. However, seeing Li Tiansha's expression without any dissatisfaction, he would not be wise to find trouble with that person. At this time, the battle videos of all the students began to be played around the palace. Yuanjie's performance in the first test of the secret realm was placed on the first screen. Many classmates gathered in front of the screen, and they were very interested in Yuanjie. Wow! That trick golden glitter is so handsome. It can actually move 100 kilometers in an instant. His move of Yantian Heavenly Attraction is simply a monster brushing divine technique. MV. No, I think his move Shanluo Xian's Hang is the strongest. You look at him, one move will raise the rich families in their city to the ground. It's just fantastic operation. Before making the video, the school official consulted every student and asked them if they would like to write the name of the skill, and Yuanjie didn't think much about it at that time, so he wrote it. When everyone finished looking at the first screen, they turned around and walked to the second screen. Everyone couldn't help but gasp, because what was placed on it was the battle picture of Li Tiansha against Ninglu. Chapter 103. Everyone didn't expect that Li Tiansha's combat power was so terrifying. With a garbage F-level physique, he can actually beat an SS-level genius under the same level. Who is a genius? Many people have this question in their minds. Most of the people present were Yuanjie, and they couldn't enter the desolate ancient academy without some talent. Everyone is a proud person, and no one obeys anyone. But now, after watching Li Tiansha's battle video clip, they doubted themselves for the first time. Being able to leapfrog the challenge is the basic operation of a genius, but who can overcome others beyond his physique? Then who is it? The first class of the Wasteland Academy is usually the elite class, and there are only 12 people in a class. This year's class not only has SSS-level geniuses, but also an F class, which is unprecedented. The college publishes the schedule, not just for you to see. Every year, before enrollment, if students are not satisfied with their placement results, they can challenge their higher-level class members. If you succeed in the challenge, you can be promoted to the class of the challenged. Otherwise, if you fail, you can only be exiled to the class of the person who defeated you. As a result, Li Tiansha, who had an F-grade physique, became the target of everyone. Many people want to step on her to the elite class. I have an SS-level physique that is only in the 7th class. She is F-class. How can he go to the elite class? That's right. Tomorrow, I must challenge her. It seems that this is the best opportunity left by the academy. Many people rush to the registration office, shouting Li Tiansha's name at the same time. The competition in the desolate ancient academy was cruel, and Li Tiansha understood it deeply on the first day. She clenched her fists tightly, her delicate body trembling slightly. Yuanjie patted her shoulder, and she turned her head to give him a reassuring smile. She really didn't care. She knew that it was all human nature, and when she stepped into the desolate ancient academy on the first day, she was mentally prepared. Why? Can there only be 10 challenger slots? It's not fair. That's right, we're all here in the hundreds, and you tell me that only 10 people can fight. The teacher at the registration office glanced at them faintly. How? Do you have an opinion? If you have an opinion, you have to hold it for me. This is the academy's rule. Hundreds of you want to gang up and beat up a little girl. Okay, compare your heart to your heart. If there are hundreds of people fighting you, how will you fight? Can you afford to wait? Everyone bowed their heads, and although they did not agree with the statement, they had to accept it. It's okay, teacher, you let them go together. The teacher at the registration office suddenly raised his head and saw a handsome and tall figure. It's him. Yuanjie chuckled. However, your opponent is me, not her. Let me fight with SSS-level geniuses? Are you sure you're not kidding me? Someone made a counter-argument, believing that they could not be an opponent of an SSS-level genius. No, I mean, hundreds of you, go together, not one by one. Yuanjie smiled and said, as long as you can knock me down, you will win. All of you can enter the elite class, and let Dean Li Qing take you. Arrogant. It's so arrogant. Everyone has been a genius since childhood. When did they receive this contempt? Even the teacher at the registration office was stunned to hear it, and she suddenly didn't know what to do. Just according to what Yuanjie said, you, 300 beat him 1, won't you be afraid of this? Li Qing's face was not very good at this time. Li Tiansha was the first close disciple he recognized, and someone dared to question his choice? Hello Dean. One by one, the students bowed their heads and said hello. Li Qing nodded lightly and instructed the teacher at the registration office to do as Yuanjie said. Yuanjie's combat power, he is very confident. According to the previous feedback of the Wind God, this forced cultivation of the fusion realm could injure the Imperial Thunder God, which was simply unreasonable. Although it is said that the royal thunder god is only a low-ranking god in the 40s. But who qualifies as a god is a generalist. Dean, I accept the challenge, huh? Li Qing turned his head to look at Li Tiansha suspiciously. Only by constantly conquering the strong can we climb to the top of the world. I'm confident I can do it. Li Tiansha stood proudly in the crowd. In Li Qing's eyes, her image suddenly became tall. He patted her shoulder excitedly and said, "That's right, overcoming all doubts is the moment when youth blooms." In this way, Li Tiansha gladly accepted the battle book of 10 challengers, while Yuanjie fought 10 of them. Oh no, it's 300. The other students did not join in the fun, but set their sights on other people. Basically, the people who were put in the first class were named and became the target of everyone. Going back at noon, Li Tiansha continued to train, while Yuanjie looked at all his current hole cards. The reincarnation eye skills include Shinra Heavenly Sign, Vientian Heavenly Introduction, Earth Explosion Heavenly Star, Heavenly Hand Power, and Heavenly Obstruction Shocking Star. White Eye has a 6-mode chakra coat, and a weakened version of the Golden Wheel Reincarnation Explosion. The Sharingan skills include Kamui, Amaterasu, Tsukiyo, Kakutsuchimei, Susanoo, and Kamui Reich. Other skills include Immortal Art and Eitor's Dunjia. With so many skills gathered on himself, if he was a limited ninja of the Tauchet village, wouldn't he be sold for 64,008? The automatic sweep was completed in half an hour, and after receiving today's sweeping experience, he could upgrade to the 5th order of the fusion realm, and he was a little excited to think about it. By the way, take another divine skill recruitment mall, which is still a daily guarantee. That is, on the first day, I got 7 golden fragments, and at other times, I got 3 of them. It almost didn't disgust my brother to death, which reminded him of the time when he played in the head village. In order to get the dirt-spotted master out, he was identified V10 player, pumped 350 alive, plus various activities to come out. Fortunately, most of the gold spirit coins in this world are not the money earned by Yuanjie himself, and he is not distressed. After drawing the divine skill recruitment mall, he saw that he actually had more than 100 blue fragments on his body, so he used 30 to synthesize the How Fireball art. Huh? There is actually reinforcement? Yuanjie was stunned. The material used for the enhancement is a blue fragment and 500 copper spirit coins. As he clicked to the back, he noticed more and more that something was wrong. After the How Fireball art points to level 50. There is actually an option to upgrade. Do you spend 20 blue fragments to upgrade the art of How Fireball to the art of Phoenix Immortal Fire? Yuanjie didn't think much and directly ordered to upgrade. The enhancement still uses a blue fragment, but this time it is no longer a copper spirit coin, but a silver spirit coin, and 500 silver spirit coins are clicked. When he strengthened the Phoenix Immortal Fire technique to level 50, he found that he could actually upgrade. Why don't you put this Matryoshka doll? Chapter 104. Do you want to upgrade to the Dragon Fire art with 50 blue fragments? I'll lift your horse. He now has only 21 blue fragments left. How Dragon Fire strengthening? Shouldn't you use golden spirit coins? Two-pitted, right? This dog system is simply unhuman. The purple fragment cannot currently synthesize an illusion skill. Yuanjie put aside other thoughts. He came to the clearing and performed a Phoenix Immortal Fire technique. If the art of How Fireball is a ball of fire, then the art of Phoenix Immortal Fire is to turn a ball into multiple balls and bombard the opposite side in different directions. Bang bang. Well, the power is okay, a little higher than the attack power of the How Fireball art. Yuanjie nodded gratifyingly. Not in vain he spent so much money to strengthen. It seems that weapons can be hidden in the Phoenix Immortal Fire art, right? Yuanjie secretly thought that if this was the case, it would be a killing move. He is now beginning to look forward a little to what is behind the Dragon Fire technique, and Banai's mighty fire is extinguished? Keking, who was hiding on the side, noticed the explosion of flames not far away, and she was stunned. How can the Lord know the fire attribute skill? He is obviously a physical family. Keking fell into deep thought. It seems that tonight's work log is going to write this up and report it to the main mother. Time did not wait for anyone, and soon came the next day. Today is the incoming student challenge, and the winner moves the class one step forward. Almost all the students were involved, and the 100-acre duel square was full of people at this time. Not only first-year students, but also upperclassmen came to watch the play. I heard that our school recruited that SSS-level genius this year. Really? It is said that he is still a handsome little guy with super good looks and figure. Ha ha ha, mortals are also beautiful, but the general appearance of high physique will not be worse. Indeed, when I think of Kag in the 6th class of 3 years, I drool. She is the most beautiful woman I have ever met. If I can kiss fangs, I will have no regrets in this life. The academy opened the first match between Li Tiansha and the challenger. It immediately attracted the attention of many students. On the huge screen on the dual square, information about Li Tiansha and his opponent appeared. Many senior students were stunned. What happened? When did the Aragao Academy even ask for people with F-level physique? They have not seen Li Tiansha's battle video, nor do they know her brilliant record. It is normal to have this idea. Challenging Li Tiansha was Liaowan, who is in the 2nd class SS-level legal imperial physique. The laws of the heavenly path in this world are very strange. Most of the awakened physiques are the legal royal system, accounting for as much as 70%. The second most is the physical royal system, there are 20%, and the remaining beast royal system and spirit royal system add up to only 10%. Among them, the spirit royal system is the rarest, less than 1%. Liaowan strengthened that the attribute was wind, and she froze when she saw Li Tiansha for the first time. There's even a woman who looks even better than her SS-level genius? Are you sure she has an F-grade physique? Li Tiansha didn't say nonsense, nodded directly to the monitoring teacher, and signaled to start. Liaowan took out his magic staff, chanted words in his mouth. And soon, one after another meteors crossed the sky. Extraterrestrial meteors. The meteor fell from the sky, and the target was Li Tiansha. Kiki, hard work on you, the golden girl turned around and said behind her back. At this time, everyone suddenly saw that she was actually carrying a zombie little girl on her back. Kiki jumped down, raised his head to cheer for Li Tiansha and said, Sister Shallow, I am optimistic about you. Yuanjie in the audience was speechless for a while. This Nima is really haunted by evil spirits, right? He didn't expect that Li Tiansha was not satisfied with the weight on his feet, and even had to carry spiritual objects for training. He didn't know how much weight Kiki carried, but he probably knew that the ghost felt very bad about pressing the bed. Li Tiansha shouted, hurt the door, open. She was actually able to open the injured door? It seems that the recent training has been very fruitful. After opening the injury door, it will cause large and small damage to the body, but the improvement is very obvious. Li Tiansha volleyed, her eyes froze, she kept flickering in the gaps where meteors exploded, leaving one after image after another. Bang, one punch. All it takes is one punch. Liaowan's body flew heavily under the competition stage. His Yuanjie seemed to hear the sound of everyone sucking in cold air, and he nodded slightly. Li Tiansha's physique was originally problematic, plus she had the divine skill of the 8 techniques of Yuanjie, and he didn't feel strange at all when he moved the other party in seconds. Please hit me and wake me up. Snap, I'm blanching. Are you really fighting? Almost all the students were stunned in place. This result came too quickly. They could not accept it for a while. The expected picture of Li Tiansha being knocked down did not appear, but the SS-level genius flew out. Is this really an F-grade physique? How I don't feel like it. Yes, that trick extraterrestrial meteor, even if I am a 2nd-grade senior, I can't deal with it easily. It seems that everyone in the academy is talented, and they speak well, and I really like it here. Until she fell to the ground, Liaowan didn't know what happened, and she lay on the ground stunned. Li Tiansha walked over, stretched out a hand, and pulled her up. Thank you, Liaowan blushed and bowed. This fight, she lost heartily, without complaint. Even if she didn't want to believe it, she had to admit that Li Tiansha was indeed very strong, at least stronger than her, and was fully qualified to be in the elite class. The remaining 9 people kept drumming in their hearts. It was not that they had not seen Li Tiansha's battle video, but the SS-level physique brought a damn sense of superiority that blinded their eyes. The classification of classes is carefully thought out by the academy, and can be assigned to the elite class. How can it be mortal? Some people want to withdraw from the competition, but they are told that if they voluntarily withdraw from the competition, they will be expelled from school, and there is no way, so they have to bite the bullet. The second game was 1 class against 7 shifts, and the names were not looked at carefully. However, when the huge 9-tailed fox was summoned, Yuanjie couldn't help but look at the man twice. His heart was shaking. Good fellow, this is not, the game is still in full swing, and every 5 games, Li Tiansha has to go on stage. By noon, she had abused 3 challengers. It's basically a one-trick win, without dragging the mud and water. Without the weight that Kiki holds on her body, she is like a divine help. God blocks and kills God. Her reputation gradually became loud in the Wasteland Academy. I believe that from today onwards, there should be no longer people who do not have long eyes to question her physique, right? Teacher, did Li Tiansha have some adventure? Otherwise, with her physique, it would not be so strong. Li Qing shook his head, his eyes looked deeply at Li Tiansha, who was in the air, and said slowly. To say that the luckiest thing in her life is to meet Yuanjie, and, most importantly, I hope you remember, genius is 1% talent, plus 99% sweat. Chapter 105. Talking to Li Qing was one of his favorite students in the 4th year of Wasteland Academy. Sukunji nodded as if he didn't understand. He gradually became interested in the blonde girl, and the heroic and sassy demeanor was gradually engraved in his heart. Li Qing naturally saw his thoughts, and he narrowed his eyes and warned, "You'd better not beat her idea. She is Yuanjie's forbidden." Sukunji asked curiously, "Teacher, is she related to Yuanjie?" Li Qing stopped talking, and he couldn't understand the words when he didn't say it. Some people always have to suffer some losses, otherwise they don't know that a mountain is higher than a mountain. This student of his is good at everything, but he is too conceited, and he has been arched by the stars since he was a child, thinking that he is invincible in the world. Even if he works hard, he is not as good as the SSS-level physique Yuanjie, and the difference in physique almost locks a person's life. But Li Tiansha is an exception. When noon came, the invigilator announced that everyone should go back to rest first, and start again at 2 p.m. Li Tiansha went back to cook immediately, and Yuanjie pushed her to the sofa and sat down. "Let me go, you've been fighting all morning, you should be tired too." She stared blankly at the busy figure in the kitchen, and her heart was filled with a trace of warmth. After a while, lunch was ready. It is relatively simple. It is tomato scrambled egg with tomato fried beef and tomato fried tofu. "How is it all tomatoes?" Li Tiansha couldn't help but frown. Ugh, Yuanjie touched his head in disdain. He would not tell her, in fact, he would only make tomatoes. When renting a house in a previous life, he could eat scrambled eggs with tomatoes for a year. It wasn't until he met that man that his life began to taste something else. "Don't you like to eat?" Yuanjie asked cautiously. Li Tian tasted it a little, although they were all tomatoes, but I have to say that they were very delicious. In general, the simplest ingredients are the most difficult to make a taste. It can be imagined how many tomatoes her brother G ate in his previous life to reach this point of pure green. It's painfully skilled. Is it delicious? Well, the egg is very smooth and tender, if you like to eat, Yuanjie chuckled. After lunch, at 12 o'clock, Li Tiansha chose to use the only time he had to continue training hard. Yuanjie, on the other hand, went back to the room and slept with his head down. For him, the effect of training for a month is not as high as the experience of automatic sweeping for a day. Li Tiansha ran around the playground, and someone was secretly observing. Sukunji took out the mirror, drew a lipstick, and then casually tossed it aside. He unzipped his coat to reveal the fishnet suit underneath. He maintained a kind smile and gradually approached Li Tiansha. Li Tiansha sensed that he was coming, only glanced at him faintly, and then turned around. "Beauty, are you interested in getting to know each other?" "Nope." Sukunji was in this academy, and it was the first time that a conversation was rejected by a girl. He thought he was still handsome. He shook the middle score on his head, changed to a more beautiful smile, and continued to follow. "Beauty, let me introduce myself first. I am," Li Tian said lightly. "I'm not interested, I don't want to hear it." Sukunji's expression was sluggish for a moment. He didn't expect the other party's attitude to be so bad, and he didn't put him as a senior in his eyes at all. However, he was not in a hurry. He still ran to face Li Tiansha directly in front of him, and when he was about to perform a gentlemanly salute and solemnly introduce himself, he saw Li Tiansha bypassing him and running away from him. Again and again, Sukunji's face became very bad. He is now the school grass of the desolate ancient academy, which female classmate must not scream and shout "Kunkin" when she sees him. If he smiled at the man again, the girl was guaranteed to faint. He ran forward with a calm face, and just when he wanted to say something ruthless, Li Tiansha stopped. She looked at the other party seriously. "We can't help the wind, delicate and contrived, a big man actually wears heavy makeup?" The skinny arms and calves are not even as good as a girl herself. Li Tiansha said with a calm face, I warn you, stay away from me, otherwise, I'll call Brother G to come and beat you, Brother J. Isn't that SSS-level genius? Su Kunji subconsciously shrunk, but then thought, what if this is her test for herself? Can't retreat. Su Kunji showed a delicate smile, and the jacket that was not very strong on his body slipped off his shoulders, looking particularly charming. Yuanjie? You may not believe it, but I am a third-order strength in the Great Evening Realm. So what? Are you God? This sentence choked Su Kunji. God? That is at least to have a cultivation above the fifth order of the Great Evening Realm? How can he match? You may not believe it, Brother G beat a god to serious injury. Li Tiansha imitated his words and teased. Su Kunji only felt that the other party was scaring him and testing whether he was sincere. Really? I don't believe it. Li Tiansha didn't want to pay attention to him, feeling that he was so greasy and felt good about himself, and he was also a man, far worse than Brother G. She ran straight back, out of the mood to train. Su Kunji narrowed his eyes in the back and looked at her departing figure. It's a hot girl, I like it. Unexpectedly, Li Tiansha's cold attitude actually gave him a desire to conquer. As soon as Yuanjie got up, he saw Li Tiansha sitting on the sofa sulking. What's wrong? He sat down, grabbed her little hand, and said with concern. Li Tiansha broke away slightly, and said sullenly, there was a shabby just now, who has been croaking in my ears, sick of it. Yuanjie's eyes froze. How could anyone be so ignorant? Even his woman dared to provoke awe. It seems that you are acting too friendly? Do you know him? I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's her grade. Yuanjie is not panicked, it is very simple to find a person, just ask Keking. Okay, I'll go and warn him not to come and do things again. Li Tiansha quickly grabbed him and shook his head. Brother G, this is my business, the next time I see him, I will beat him. She doesn't want to trouble Brother G with any trivial things. After Yuanjie saw her resolute attitude, he bowed his head slightly. Su Kunji had just left the playground, and it was Li Qing standing outside the playground. Li Qing's face was not very good. He did not expect that Su Kunji was not afraid of dying to provoke Yuanjie's woman. You, come to me, say, what did you just go to do? Su Kunji rolled his eyes, and he replied calmly, I just went to training. I give you one last piece of advice, some women, you can't touch. Otherwise, you don't know how to die. I advise you to find out how the Jiang Hoke family and the Jing Changjin family were destroyed and by whom. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Chapter 106. Su Kunji didn't think so. He was an SS-level genius. How could he be willing to succumb to others? Yuanjie is just an SSS-level genius. What is he afraid of? Well, though. When Li Qing saw his expression, he knew that he would definitely not be convinced. After you know his strength, I hope you still say this with such confidence. Li Qing shook his head in disappointment and walked away. Now in his eyes, Su Kunji's image has been lowered, and he has become a somewhat talented student, with a very average mental character, etc. This kind of person, if placed in a TV series, usually does not live more than 3 episodes. Seeing the teacher walk away disappointed, Su Kunji clenched his fists. He must prove himself. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the opening scene is still Li Tiansha's battle. She is facing a female classmate with an SS-level physique in the 3rd class, and Bei Shan, like her former opponent Chai Lei, is also strengthening her skin. The difference is that Chai Lei is very hard, she is the opposite. Very soft. When Li Tiansha kicked over for the first time, she immediately noticed that something was wrong. The other party's body was like plasticine, and the whole dent. She felt a punch hit the cotton. Li Tiansha couldn't help but stop the attack and frowned. Accepted, Bei Shan smiled slightly, her stomach suddenly swelled, and then she took a deep breath and gathered all the power she had just absorbed into her fist. One punch. Li Tiansha dodged sideways, but the railing of the competition platform behind her seemed to be swept by a strong wind, and it was broken alive. Her pupils shrank. This force, if it hit her just now, wouldn't it be dangerous? Yuanjie opened his eyes at the bottom and observed the body structure. Well, where's the loophole? Got it. However, he did not directly tell Li Tiansha about the weak points of Bei Shan's physique. This is her battle, so don't interrupt yourself. Li Tiansha changed her style of play this time. She no longer used brute force, but used speed. Her attack speed at the moment was extremely fast, and she even left 4 or 5 after images in place. The students below were dazzled, and they couldn't tell which was the real body for a while. Too fast. Her hand speed is so fast. The crowd exclaimed. Some people think that if only they could have this kind of speed. Then, in the silence and loneliness of the night, you can do something cheerful. Everyone exclaimed, this is no longer 5 sprays a second, but 100 times a second. It's broken, it's almost on fire, and I don't know if Bezin can carry it. Beshin's body was constantly deformed by the hammer, but her recovery speed was not as fast as the other party's beating. Li Tiansha's fists and feet were like pinching plasticine, pinching Beishan into various shapes. Finally, one punch. Betsin has long been overwhelmed. Her body will indeed automatically recover when attacked by powerful forces, but every position that people hit is different. I have to say that Li Tiansha's tactics are still very effective, and she takes advantage of the other party's passive recovery characteristics and constantly consumes the other party's spiritual power. 15 minutes later, the last punch hit Beshin's chest hard. Beshin, whose spiritual power was exhausted, had no automatic recovery state at this time, and the energy stored in her body was like a burst of energy, gushing out from her. Poof, she spat out blood heavily, fell off the competition platform, and her breath languished. The school doctor quickly ran over and carried her down on a stretcher. Next, taking advantage of the hot hand, Li Tiansha wants to fight again. The next opponent, whose physique was only S-class, panicked. This person is not an F-class physique at all. She's playing pig and eating tiger. Someone was complaining. The people around him were stunned. It's impossible. The physique is awakened in the detection tower, and the detection tower has never missed it. Yes, they would rather believe that the person who went up is Tudish, but they don't believe that Li Tiansha's strength is really that strong. If you turn into your own and fight, you may be able to win. Sukunji's eyes in the audience were hot. Such a brave woman should be his goddess. Yuanjie noticed him, quietly walked over, patted him on the shoulder. Hey, classmate, would you like to go up and sing and dance? Sukunji glanced at Yuanjie, and suddenly became a little nervous. He quickly recovered. He was a figure of the 3rd order of the Great Evening Realm, and he only fused the 5th order of the Great Evening Realm. Yuanjie smiled and said nothing. He had basically determined now that the person who harassed Li Tiansha was him. You seem to be afraid of me. Yuanjie narrowed his eyes and said sarcastically. Sukunji was not to be outdone. Why do you have an illusion? I am afraid of you. Why should I be afraid of you? Although your physique is better than mine, my cultivation is higher than yours. Yuanjie shook his head. Dealing with this kind of person, he felt degraded. Soon, Li Tiansha's challenger was left to the last one. Her opponent this time is a classmate of the A-grade Spirit Imperial Physique. In the spiritual lineage, there are very few people who can awaken in this world. The attack of the spirit object is without a trace, and you don't know where the other party's spirit object is. Everything can only be guessed by feeling. So, basically invincible at the same level. However, the Spirit Royal Department also has a very serious drawback. That is that it is difficult to skip the challenge, because once the cultivation is higher than you, they can easily sense the location of your spiritual objects and have a way to target you. The opponent was a tall girl, who did not expect to speak softly and very cute. Young sister, if I hurt you, Yuanjie Pigeon won't be angry, right? I blanch. There are clips. Yuanjie's goosebumps all over his body rose. Li Tiansha didn't talk nonsense, and directly rushed over and punched out. Unexpectedly, this force actually hammered into the air. Is it blocked? Young sister, don't try so hard, people are so afraid. Yuanjie, Li Tiansha's eyes froze. She could probably judge from the blow just now that the other party should have 3 spirit objects. She stopped where she was, thinking about how to fight. Suddenly, a stick came to the air and knocked her away. Flying sticks are coming. Li Tiansha shook his head. Just now it was knocked on her head, and it hurt a lot. It is also one of the few scenes where she is injured. Before she could stand firm, she was punched and flew away again. The point is that she doesn't even know where the opponent's attack came from. Li Tiansha looked around cautiously, and when she confirmed that there was no problem, she took a step forward. Unexpectedly, she tripped over an invisible foot. The first time she faced someone with a superior Spirit Imperial physique, she finally personally understood how disgusting this physique was. Sure enough, invincible at the same level, it's really not blown. Li Tiansha burst out extremely fast, and she rushed to the other party with lightning speed. However, her feet could no longer advance half a point. Clamp, clamp, hey, hee. Chapter 107. Did you step on a clip? Li Tiansha's right foot suddenly felt a sharp pain, and scarlet blood flowed down. Rinnegan walked to Li Tiansha with a smile on her face and said with a grin, "Sister, I'm so powerful, Yuanjie pigeon won't hate me, right? Oh, then I better not be so powerful." Li Tiansha wanted to shake his fist, but was stunned to find that both of her hands were tied at the same time. There was a clanging sound of chains in the air. Li Tiansha struggled again, and found that she couldn't move, and her face changed instantly. Immediately afterward, a stick slammed down on her stomach. "Oh, why is my sister bleeding? Should it be me trying too hard?" Li Tiansha stared at Rinnegan in front of him deadly, feeling that this person was too hateful. She struggled with all her strength, and the chains made a noise. Rinnegan covered her chest and said in fear, "Oh, sister, you scared people." Li Tiansha closed her eyes, she felt it silently, and now she has figured it out. The other party can really only summon 3 spirit objects. 1 spirit object is currently beating her with a stick, and 2 spirit objects are pulling iron chains respectively. That is, her feet, now free, the breakthrough point is here. The strong power burst out from her body again, which startled Rinnegan, and this time she was really frightened. Li Tiansha flipped on his side, stepped on an iron chain on the right with his left foot, and then dragged his right hand vigorously. Dang dang, the power of the spirit object was inferior to her, and it was dragged over. She raised her right leg and kicked vigorously, and the spirit object that tied her with an iron chain on the left was kicked and flew tens of meters. At this time, the spirit object holding the stick hid her head. Li Tiansha was caught in this blow, and blood overflowed from her forehead. Her left hand had just been freed and grabbed the collar of the spirit object. Bang! Everyone did not expect that Li Tiansha's attack method was so unpretentious, and he actually hit the other party with his head. The spirit creature was knocked out and fell to the ground. Li Tiansha shook her head, she let go of her left foot, flicked her right hand, and received all the chains into her hand. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Immediately afterwards, she casually punched her right hand to the side, and actually hit the last spirit object. How did you find out their location? Rinnegan couldn't hold it anymore, and she kept shrinking back in fear. Just by feeling, I have to say that Li Tiansha's combat experience is really rich. At the very least, she is much richer than many of her classmates who have just entered the school. Bang! Li Tiansha punched a monster. Rinnegan was beaten so that her nose was blue and her face was swollen, and she was finally kicked off the stage. So far, 10 games, all wins. Li Tiansha shattered the self-esteem of that group of challengers with his fists and feet. She broke everyone's doubts with her strength. She told everyone with her total victory record. Li Tiansha, stay in the elite class, not by going through the back door. Yuanjie immediately cheered. After realizing it, the whole audience is a sensation. I'm convinced, if this kind of talent doesn't stay in the first class, who else is worthy? Sure enough, the dean's eyes are snowy. It's really incomprehensible. I'm curious about her exercise. And I think if she didn't have that exercise, she wouldn't be so powerful, but people just have it. You don't have what you beep. Luck is also part of strength. I heard that she runs 800 kilometers every day, and I can't do it. Li Qing was on stage, and Lao Wai was relieved that he really didn't look at the wrong person. Li Tiansha's record is comparable to that of his youth. Once, he also received a lot of doubts, until, by chance, he learned the power of the dragon, and since then, youth will never end. In the last game, Yuanjie versus 300 heroes. When the senior students heard this, they couldn't help but laugh. This kid is quite arrogant. I'm in the 3rd grade, I don't dare to say that I hit 10. Yes, I really think of my physique too superiorly. SSS-level and SS-level, there's only a word difference. I don't believe that the gap will be so big. Okay, don't talk, watch the play. I hope the 300 heroes can cut the sharpness of this SSS-level genius. What are you thinking? 1 to call, 10 my letters, 1 to call 300? Can beat me tweet. Eat a ton. Yuanjie listened to the rumors around him and shook his head with a smile. Yes, he is indeed an SSS-level genius, but don't forget, he is also a genius who bought plugins. From now on, this place is called Yuanjie Square. He jumped up and jumped onto the giant duel arena. The other 300 heroes followed one by one. Teacher, can we start? The invigilator also wanted to ask him again if he wanted to do this, but he didn't expect that Yuanjie still felt a little impatient. The invigilator shook his head. Since that's the case, then let him do as he wishes. It's good that young people are hide a little. Too arrogant will one day ruin themselves. Let's get started. With the order of the invigilator, 300 geniuses are ready to go. They all use their full body strength to bombard Yuanjie. Kamui, blur, Yuanjie was like walking in the rain, standing in place and letting you fight. Come on, give all your strength, dance to your heart's content. Hearing his provocative words, the number 300 people standing on the opposite side were furious. Yuanjie ran, and he used the Flying Thunder God to constantly shuttle through the crowd. The Flying Thunder God mark was arranged in the competition platform when he left at noon. There were a total of 50 marks, originally only 30, but now the strength is high, and more can be arranged. The students in the audience saw a golden flash constantly flashing in the crowd, and everywhere they went, people kept flying. The geniuses had just captured his location, but unexpectedly he ran again and flew to the other side. One of them said angrily, "Are you capable of this? Will you just run away? Do you dare to fight head-on?" Yuanjie flashed back again, grabbed his neck, and lifted him up. "Do you want to dance too?" At this time, the physical genius next to him arched from behind, and Yuanjie jumped up and kicked him away with one leg. The genius who was strangled by the throat was flushed and unable to speak. More genius attacks came from all directions. Spicy Heavenly Plug, Shinra Shianten, at least 50 Xianjiao were ejected and fell heavily in various places. The genius who was strangled by the throat made a difficult sound and said a word intermittently. "In my opinion, your SSS level is no more than that." Yuanjie looked down and smiled. "Is it? It seems that you still have the strength to dance," he said as he stared deeply into the genius's eyes. "Yet, you ever seen me in my heyday?" As soon as the words fell, from around Yuanjie's body, a blue light suddenly lit up. "To digress, thank you very much for your follow-up, everyone's popularity, really, thank you very much. I know that I don't write well, I know I don't have the talent to write books, so I have to work harder than other authors. Ruin, it should be the norm in the future. I have a lot of stories I want to tell you now, thank you all along the way." Chapter 108. Everyone. Don't be afraid. Listen to me, the ancients said that 2 fists are difficult to defeat with 4 hands, not to mention that we have 600 hands, even with 1 hand, he can't beat us. In the crowd of 300 challengers, a male voice suddenly appeared, and he was the only male among the 300 people. This year, the enrollment ratio of Aragu College is as gender imbalanced as ever, with more than 1,000 female students and only 7 or 8 male students. Just like breaking into a nunnery, poor monks can also find Taoists. As one of the few boys, Lu Fen took on the heavy responsibility of commanding. He shouted, "Now, everyone listen to my command." Students with wind and fire attributes unleash their magic together to strengthen their power. After hesitating for a moment, the 300 students of the Wind and Fire Attribute Law Imperial Department attacked in the direction of Yuanjie. Yuanjie's figure was instantly buried in a huge fire tornado. "Listen to my password. Students of Water and Soil attributes go together." Immediately the sky was covered with dark clouds, thunder and lightning, and a downpour fell on the huge competition platform. Not only the students of the Water and Soil attribute made a move, but the Thunder attribute also made a move, strengthening the technique. One after another, earthen walls rose up on the ground, blocking Yuanjie's figure inside. Finally, the classmate of the Wind and Fire attribute solidified the earth wall, and he must be sealed inside. "Please give it a go." The wind was fierce, the fire was raging, and almost all the students did their best. Xianjiao even flew into the fire and hammered the mound with 1 punch and 2 punches to make it extremely strong. Phew, a soil bag up to 200 meters high, condensed. Sure enough, the combined force of 300 Xianjiao blows, even the gods can't stop it. "What is Yuanjie?" Su Kunji laughed loudly. "SSS-level genius, but that's it. Ha ha ha, you won't accidentally beat him to death, right?" Then he became the youngest top physique in history. Seeing that the soil bag did not move for a long time, the 300 people on the stage immediately breathed a sigh of relief. They high-fived and hugged, and some even sang and danced in celebration. For them, defeating a genius with a top SSS physique can blow for a lifetime. The Azure God wanted to go up to relieve the siege, but the swift wind god Yaheo stopped him with his hand, shook his head and said, I know you're in a hurry, but don't be in a hurry first. It's definitely not going to be that simple. He hasn't done that yet. Time passed minute by minute, 10 seconds passed, and there was still no movement inside. The invigilator was urged by 300 classmates, and she was a little hesitant. Do you think this will work? Yuanjie's voice suddenly came out of the dirt bag, which made everyone who was celebrating suddenly stunned. Lu Feng shouted sharply at the huge dirt bag, don't be tough. This is the full strength of 300 Xianjiao. I saw that it is worthy of being a young person with the name of genius, so I, Yuanjie, will also fight with all my strength. The sound in the dirt bag was suddenly far away, but it hit everyone's hearts like a heavy hammer. What do you mean? This person is so pretend, he can't beat it, right? The whole body is soft, and the mouth is hard, right? Laugh at me. Someone is pretending, I don't say who. Su Kunji suddenly came to Li Tiansha in sight and said softly, you don't seem nervous at all. Li Tiansha smiled disdainfully, you haven't really seen his strength, you can't imagine that he is powerful. Yes, Su Kunji hugged his chest and stood on the side and sneered. At this time, several blue rays suddenly bloomed in the dirt bag. A giant blue hand broke through the earth and crushed the soil bag. Next is the second hand, the third hand, the fourth hand. The huge dirt bag exploded instantly, and Xianjiao, who was standing in the front row, was blown to ashes. A 150-meter tall half-humanoid skeleton suddenly appeared in front of everyone. Exudes invisible heavenly power. Good, so big. Lu Feng's eyes widened and he looked at Susanoo blankly. A drop of cold sweat fell on everyone's foreheads. On the dual square, almost everyone's eyes widened, and their small mouths opened slightly. This is, in the battle video officially edited by the Araku Academy, there is no picture of Genji using Susanoo. Even if there is, it is the first form of Susanoo, and it is not worth mentioning. Many students subconsciously ignore this detail. The 150-meter-long semi-humanoid Susanoo has a turquoise flame burning on the outside. Yuanjie stood on a high place, looking condescendingly at the people below. It's not over yet. Yuanjie shook his right hand. The half-humanoid skeleton propped up the ground with its right hand and grew a lower body. His body was covered with flesh and blood for a moment, and one after another blue armor scales transformed his whole body, up to his head, and the cover of Wu Tengu's helmet. The blue giant slowly stood up, holding two swords, and stood in this heaven and earth. The hand that Lu Feng stretched out when he cast the spell just now slowly lowered it and squeezed it into a fist. Like him, countless Xianjiao lowered his arms in despair, and there was no other word but shock. A puff of smoke dispersed, and the blue giant 300 meters high covered the sky, and the huge shadow was reflected at the location of 300 Xianjiao. The swift wind god glanced with interest at the shocked school leaders on the stage, just as he had seen the giant for the first time. There should be BGM here. It seems that the giant is taller again. Will it rise higher and higher with this kid's cultivation? Su Kunji tilted his head. His shocked mood at the moment could not be greater. What kind of monster is he? Spiritual power is actually so huge? Lu Feng's eyes lost their brilliance, and he muttered, the gap is actually so big? I actually compete with such an opponent. The 300 Xianjiao on the stage had such thoughts in their hearts at the same time. I originally thought that using such a technique would be too bullying for children. If this is not the case, how will you know the difference between me and yours? But maybe it's a good thing for you. Saying that, Susanoo slowly pulled out the sword in his left hand. Even if Yuanjie's words were crazy, they were angry when they heard it. But this is the case. In front of Yuanjie's huge Susanoo, they can't have any intention of resisting. Ding, bang. Susanoo unsheathed the sword in his left hand with just a slight stroke. All the oncoming Xianjiao were blown to the ground by the strong energy. Screams, groans, and screams echoed in this huge dual square. When they finally stabilized their figures, they saw that the audience on the opposite side opened their mouths wide, unable to say a word for a long time. They followed their gaze and saw only a few peaks in the distance, which had been cut off. What? The mountain was split? Is this so? SSS-level physique. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109. You guys, Do you still want to fight? Li Qing shook his head. How can this fight? This kind of power has reached a critical point of God, and that group is just a hairy boy who has just entered school. The blue Susanoo took a step forward, causing a strong earthquake that left a deep footprint on the tournament. I admit defeat, Lu Feng replied weakly. I surrender, can't beat. One by one, Xianjiao lowered their proud heads, and this competition left them a lot of psychological trauma. It is true that living in the same era as Yuanjie is undoubtedly sad. Thinking the other way around, it is also an honor. Because this era not only belongs to Yuanjie, but also their era. The 300 days on the competition stage scattered in the shape of birds, and one after another the ashes slipped off the stage. Genji Susanoo remained on it, and everyone didn't know why. Suddenly, Yuanjie manipulated Susanoo to squat down and pinched Sukunji, who was standing beside Li Xianxian, like an ant. Sukunji struggled his body and shouted, "Let me go, I'm your senior." Yuanjie smiled, "I don't understand, why would anyone dare to think about my woman? It's not loud, but the whole square can hear it clearly." "Nope. You can't move me. I am a good student of the desolate ancient academy for 3 consecutive years, I am a proud protege of Dean Li Qing, and I am also an outstanding young man of the great Xia mansion." Sukunji threw out one title after another, just wanting to keep his own dog life. "I'm the most annoying person when people threaten me," Yuanjie said with a fierce look in his eyes. "The K family, the Jin family, and the Ning family are all threatening me. Do you see their fate?" Li Qing sat on the stage without moving. He had long expected that there might be this scene. Didn't he warn Sukunji? But if people didn't listen, what could he do? Brother Ji, Li Xianxia was stunned. She didn't expect Yuanjie to be so protective. However, her heart did not agree with him doing this. Because, once Yuanjie kills the other party in public, the trouble caused is not small. She didn't want to be a useless troublemaker. Fortunately, Dean Li Qing spoke, and he rode the power of the divine dragon into the air. "Yuanjie, let him go, he is still of great use to this country." Yuanjie just wanted to pinch Sukunji to death. Li Qing transmitted a voice, "Yuanjie, Sukunji's cultivation is not bad, let him go outside, and he can also contribute a small amount to the country. Now is the time to hire people. It is not easy to cultivate a student in the late realm. How much effort is required behind a teacher, as well as all kinds of rare and exotic medicinal materials. If he died like that, it would be too cheap for him." Yuanjie threw Sukunji to the ground, and the other party spat out a mouthful of blood. "Listen, from today onwards, you will be exiled to the border, and only those who have achieved outstanding combat merits there can you return to the territory, a small life left behind." Sukunji breathed a sigh of relief. He had just returned from the border, and according to the intelligence of the National Government Army, there should be no spirit beast tied in the next 100 years. Where to live is not to live. Maybe he is a little free. Sukunji comforts himself like this. Do you ask him to take revenge? How can it be? He had already cultivated to the 3rd order of the Great Evening Realm. And he had vaguely come into contact with a law of heavenly destiny. Even so, he thought he could not have unleashed such a terrifying force. You know, now Yuanjie is just a 5th order cultivation of the fusion realm. If he was fortunate enough to come back from the border, who knew what terrifying level Yuanjie's cultivation would reach? "Let's go." Li Qing patted Sukunji's shoulder regretfully. Before leaving, Sukunji looked deeply at Yuanjie. The freshman entrance challenge comes early and goes fast. In the end, the classification list of each class has been established, and there are still 12 Xianjiao in one class. It's just surprising that 5 people in the first class were successfully challenged by the classmates in the later class. Many Xianjiao were annoyed, and they knew not to target Yuanjie and Li Xianxiao. It turned out that this was the fog bomb released by the academy, and the weakest was not Li Xianxiao at all, but someone else. Unfortunately, they were all blinded by Li Xianxian's F-grade physique and lost their minds. According to the process of the duel, it can be seen that the weakest should be an SS-level beast royal line. Don't look at the rarity of the beast royal line, but the upper limit of this physique does not lie in himself, but in the spirit beast level signed with it. It just so happened that the Beast Royal Department signed the contract was actually the weakest auxiliary spirit beast, without any aggression in defense. According to the rules of the academy, a trainee only has one chance to challenge. As long as one person defeats the other party, they will be promoted directly, and they cannot challenge the promoted trainees in the future. Therefore, Li Ruxa became the lucky one, the only one with an S-class physique in the elite class. Many students beat their chests and regretted it. By the way, there is also an F-class physique. However, since yesterday's battle, no one will underestimate this F-class physique. Everyone tacitly thought that Li Tiansha was playing pig and eating tiger, which was very bad. Li Qing walked into the classroom with a smile on his face, and the students who were getting to know each other quieted down. Congratulations to all of you for coming to the elite class of Desolate Ancient Academy. I am honored to be your mentor. Snap Elite Class. As the name suggests, you are all the strongest elite in the entire school. If you don't have some strength, you really can't get in. Of course, luck is also part of strength. Ruzu said, blushing. Yes, she is the one with the best luck. Originally, she thought that she would not be able to enter the Desolate Ancient Academy, but she did not expect that suddenly, all the children of the family were persuaded to quit, leaving a lot of enrollment places, and she was admitted with a pressed line. She never dreamed that she could get away with the elite class. Since the dean said that luck is part of strength, then I have to work hard. Strive not to hold back. Li Qing continued to introduce the history of the elite class. The Desolate Ancient Academy has been founded for hundreds of thousands of years, and those who have graduated from the elite class, the minimum cultivation or strength is a great late realm. As soon as these words came out, the audience exclaimed. Among the tens of millions of graduates of the Great Xia Mansion every year, there are only more than 100 who can reach the strength of the Great Evening Realm. The dean means that the 12 people present here can reach the strength of the Great Evening Realm when they graduate. Many students have become commotion, becoming a big evening realm, which means that their future is bright. This world respects martial arts, and the higher the strength, the higher the position. If you can become a strong person in the Great Evening Realm, then after graduation, whether you join the army or take the public service exam, you can take a lot less detours than many people. Tonight, prepare to elect the squad leader. The squad leader has no position, you only need to do one thing well, that is, if someone bullies a classmate, you help her fight back. Chapter 110. Yuanjie has no interest in the so-called class leader position. He is very busy, and it is estimated that he will not be in school for most of the future. What is the academy for him? Maybe it's for life without regrets. When Li Qing talked about running for class president, almost all the students' eyes were on Yuanjie. Many people believe that Yuanjie's strength is the highest, and he is the most suitable to be the class leader. Yuanjie waved his hand and refused. Don't look at me, I don't have time to do it. Li Qing kept looking at him, and Yuanjie was puzzled. Soon, he received a message from Li Qing. Yuanjie, your position as a squad leader will be of great help to you in the future. Huh? Yuanjie is strange, why does it help? Li Qing continued to explain. First, if you become the squad leader, then the family can't do anything to you at will, and they have to consider whether the Desolate Ancient and the 5 gods of the Academy agree or not. Second, you can also create some accidents. I won't say more, you figure it out yourself. Yuanjie fell into deep contemplation. Was it unexpected? Suddenly his eyes lit up. Would that be, like this, and that, and finally? It seems that this squad leader position is not useless, it is simply tailor-made for himself. After Yuanjie figured it out, he agreed to the request to be the squad leader. Congratulations to Yuanjie. I hope he can lead our elite class of Desolate Ancient Academy to a further step in the future. There is revenge, there is resentment. We, the students of the Desolate Ancient Academy, must not be bullied. Especially the elite class. Everyone's faces flushed with excitement and raised their hands in response. Good. Since you want to be a class leader, you must first understand every classmate. Fortunately, there are only 12 people, which is not much. After Li Qing left, the rest of the evening was spent on self-study, which was actually reserved for students to make friends. Yuanjie took Li Tiansha, and they took the notebook to inquire one by one. An hour later, Yuanjie returned to his seat. He took the notebook from Li Tiansha's hand and pondered while flipping through the records. Among the 10 people, there are 3 who have a feud with the family, and the proportion is really not much. These 3 people are Feng Ming of the SS-level Beast Royal lineage, Li Ruxa of the S-level Lore Royal lineage, and Sulezi of the SS-level Physical Imperial lineage. Among them, Feng Ming has a feud with the Yuan family in Liusu City, Ruzu has a feud with the Zhou family, and Sulezi has a grudge with the Huangfu family. After carefully sorting out the information, the Yuan family found the key points. Since Hungry Ghost Dao Dongyu and Li Ruxu both have a feud with the Zhou family, Let's destroy the Zhou family first. Originally, Yuanjie had considered making a move on the Hong family before. After all, the Hong family was only in the top 20, and there was only one god in the family. The Zhou family ranks 4th in the family alliance, and there are 3 gods in the family, and their strength is very strong, second only to the 3 major families. If you want to fight, hit the big one, you have to make them hurt. A cruel smile appeared at the corner of Yuanjie's mouth. One thing to say, he is now beginning to enjoy the thrill of this hunting family. That's right, the Zhou family really didn't provoke him. But it didn't prevent him from doing something to him. Yuanjie is not the Holy Mother, there is a saying, others and the Zhou family's grudge to do his. But there is no way, people always have to find something to do in the world, for example, to break up the so-called family alliance. The current social situation is very bad, the country is not like the country, the home is not like the home, and the biggest stumbling block hindering social progress is the family alliance. Since the Huangfu family, the alliance master of their family alliance, made a move on themselves in the first test of the secret realm, it meant that the other party must want to get rid of themselves quickly. Don't do it now, it's their own strength, let them have some scruples. Anyone who shows the slightest weakness will be killed to death. With this in mind, Yuanjie began to make a plan. 3 days later, the college officially opened. At the same time, the Saga Alliance received an internal video of the admission challenge of Arago Academy. What? Is the blue giant Yuanjie? What international joke? How is that possible? Where did he come from with such high strength 2 months ago? Don't scare yourself, that blue giant may be a technique, and there may be a powerful master behind Yuanjie. Exercises? The eyes of many family owners lit up. If it's exercises? So if you get it, how much can your strength be improved? Huangfu Gaogayan was sitting in front of him, and he did not disturb the cranky thoughts of everyone below. What he has to do now is to silently push his families to die one by one, and test out the hidden strength of that mysterious organization and Zio. A truly wise man will not be angry, let alone be used as a gun. The 3 major families each had ghosts and exchanged glances with each other. Okay, you guys stay and continue the discussion, I'll go first. Huangfu Gaogayan only said a word at the Saga Alliance meeting tonight, waved his sleeves and left, not taking a cloud with him. I want to know the attitude of your Wang family and the Yu family. Wang Badian's eyes rolled and he smiled. Of course, it means to follow the alliance master, the Yu family seconded. Huangfu Gaogayan's face suddenly pulled down. You 2 families, really, not a word is nutritious. After chatting for a while, seeing that the Wang Jiayu family was vague, Huangfu Gaogayan sent them away. Finished, he sighed. The video of the freshman challenge of the Desolate Ancient Academy was actually deliberately disseminated by Li Qing, only the battle part of Yuanjie, and the others did not. Of course, this is all Yuanjie's idea. Yuanjie deliberately told them that he had this means, and if he wanted to take it, he could not hold it down. Sure enough, that night, the Zhou family gathered a large number of small families to jointly discuss how to snatch the blue giant's exercises. I think you can target the people around Yuanjie, such as the one named Li Tiansha, the head of the family said. Zhou Qianyu nodded, she actually thought so. As long as Li Tiansha is arrested, and then coerces Li Yuanjie to hand over the exercises, he can complete the goal. That's why I called everyone over, gave advice, and expressed their opinions. More than a dozen family heads discussed various things, and suddenly someone came out with a sentence. Have you ever wondered if this blue giant could be the special ability of Yuanjie's eyes? Zhou Qianyu quickly denied the correct answer. Don't be kidding, 2 months ago, he only had the cultivation of the Heisei realm? How could he beat the Emperor Fu family master of the 5th order of the Great Late realm? A family member ridiculed. I see you think too much. That blue giant in the secret forest definitely can't be him. That's right, unless he's on the hook. Chapter 111. The head of the family, who is refuted by everyone, lowered his head with a red face. In fact, he also recognized the powerful statement behind Yuanjie in his heart, and he didn't want to believe that this was Yuanjie's personal strength. A dozen people prepared detailed plans and signed non-disclosure agreements. They are ready to do it in 2 days. This evening, Yuanjie found Keqing and instructed, Sister, starting from tomorrow, trouble you to arrange a few more people to guard the shallow. Keqing tilted his head puzzled. Why? Don't ask why, just do it. What can their family come up with? Will Yuanjie not be able to guess? What he has to do now is to invite Jun into the urn. First put some small fish in, kill them, and then plant a scourge on the head of the Zhou family. Whether or not he organized a participation, anyway, Yuanjie said that it was your Zhou family, it was you. Time passed quickly. Yuanjie deliberately hid in the Shenhui space these days, released the hungry ghost Dao Dongyu, and went out shopping with Li Tian every day. As he wished, on the third day, when he returned to school in the evening, the fish was hooked. Who the hell are you? Li Tiansha saw that there were 7 or 8 people who were not good at coming left and right, and immediately entered a state of combat readiness. It should be the group of misbehaviors that Brother Ji said, right, Li Tiansha thought to himself. The woman at the head smiled charmingly. Who do you think we will be? You're targeting Brother J. Smart. Congratulations on getting it right. Li Tiansha knew that Brother G was nearby, but he would not show his HUD for the time being, and he had to wait for the bullets to fly for a while. If he comes out immediately, maybe it will alarm many parties, and then it will not be completely annihilated. Li Tiansha immediately opened the 8 doors and transformed into a blonde long-haired girl. The woman at the head narrowed her eyes, and she licked her lips and said, "This power, not bad, with your F-grade physique being able to burst out this level of strength, it should be a practice, right?" Li Tiansha did not hide and nodded. This response made the 8 people who came to arrest people suddenly excited, and they couldn't imagine that there was actually an unexpected gain. Up. Don't beat to death, stay alive. 8 people, all of them are masters of the great late realm of the small family, and the first, second, and third orders are uneven. The Zhou family did not come, and their reason was that the Zhou family would protect you in the shadows. It actually means that you go to death first, and we will help you collect a body. The little family had no choice, having signed a confidentiality agreement. They and the Zhou family were grasshoppers tied to the same boat. Countless magic energies bombarded towards Li Tiansha. Li Tiansha didn't let Brother Ji come out. She wanted to try her combat power. Her door. Open. The blonde girl flew out like a missile, knocking out the master of the family standing in the front. Then she swung her golden fist and punched another family master. However, the opponent is the great evening realm after all. Soon she was surrounded. Her speed is very fast. No matter how fast she is, she can't fly thunder god and heavenly hand power. Li Tiansha was hit by an enemy in the back and was hit by a fire elemental attack. She stumbled 2 steps. Fortunately there was a lot of damage blocked by the spiritual power water vapor outside, otherwise she would have been injured. She broke through the air and kicked the family master who sneaked up on her back. However, the next second, she fell into a trap. Li Tiansha found that his body could not move. Only the eyes can move. Kamui, heavenly hand power. Li Tiansha suddenly felt that the scene in front of her changed, and she actually teleported thousands of meters away. It's Brother J. Brother G saved her. However, he entered the trap in his place. What should he do? When the magic energy was about to touch Yuanjie's body, he suddenly froze and could no longer advance by half a point. Yuanjie looked around, and the corners of his mouth smiled evilly. Shinra heavenly sign, bang, the magic energy can be bounced back and returned to the caster. It is still the first time that the master of the family has tried to feel hit by his own trick. It's really uncomfortable. So you are so strong? Many people have this absurd idea in their minds. It's him. Yuanjie is here. The masters of the family want to run, but they don't dare to face Yuanjie directly. What if someone is paddling in the back? Isn't it himself who dies? It's all a bunch of makeshift troops who haven't built trust. Therefore, it is better to rely on each ability. Who runs fast counts whom? Want to run? Yuanjie smiled disdainfully when he saw the masters of the family shooting out in all directions. Sister, yes, 7 spirit objects were separated from Keking's body and stationed in the 8 corners of the southeast, southwest, and northwest. Vian heavenly lead, the 8 family masters who had just escaped suddenly froze, feeling that their bodies were constantly retreating uncontrollably. Which one are you from? Yuanjie walked to the 8 people and asked with interest. A master spat on his face and scolded, "Drug boy, you should never want to know. Those who can be selected to arrange tasks are basically good men who are loyal to the family." Yuanjie turned on the Shinra heavenly sign, flew the saliva bomb back, and the master vomited himself and was disgusted to death by himself. Yuanjie patted the faces of the others and chuckled, "I hope that later, I can still see your arrogant appearance." Monthly reading. Yuanjie initiated a monthly reading for 8 people at the same time. Now his cultivation is the 5th order of the fusion realm, and his spiritual power is about equal to 150 calories, and it is not a problem for 8 people to illusion together. However, there was only one moon reading space, so 8 people formed a circle and were abused by 5 Yuanjie with different weapons. Say or not, don't say it, do you? One of them, Yuanjie, poked to the side. I blanched. She didn't say, "Why did you stab me?" Yuanjie, who was holding a kitchen knife, smiled. "It's okay, if you don't say it, I'll stab her." The screams rose and fell one after another, and the entire moon reading space was like a purgatory on Earth. An hour later, they finally gave in. Yuanjie mused, "It's all a group of small families that are not famous, really. I thought there would be a big fish inside." Click, the hand rose and the knife fell, 8 heads fell to the ground, and they couldn't die anymore. Li Tiansha held back his vomiting and didn't go overboard. Yuanjie killed people before, there was not even scum left, but this time, the blood was drenched, and she couldn't accept it for a while. In that case, those 8 small families, let's solve one a day. So, he communicated with Wenqing and Yumengan, the 2 young ladies, telling them which small families he was going to destroy and let the people of their families come to take over. Oh yes, remember to pay for the hard work. The land and property of the family are of no use to Yuanjie. It is better to give it away and sell personal favors. In fact, the most important purpose is fatten the Wang family and the Yu family, let the Huangfu family have other ideas, and work against the 3 of them. Chapter 112. The first family to be destroyed by the Xiao organization was near the Wang family. Wang Badian personally brought people over to cheer and made a batch of trouble. "Oh, strong man, you worked hard," the Decepticon greeted with a playful smile and handed over a bottle of water. Yuanjie is wearing a white mask at the moment, and he deliberately creates a mysterious image to make the Saga Alliance throw a rat. He just took the water, but did not drink it, but the scarlet 3-hook jade eyes kept staring at Wang Badian. Wang Badian's heart was cold, such a style must be above the legendary Big Knight. Sure enough, as the head of the Yu family said, this person is very strong. Otherwise, how could a mid-level god of the 6th order of the Great Late Realm not be able to see his cultivation clearly? Xiu Wei was blocked by Yuanjie with a system, and he could see it. The man in the white mask stretched out a hand and narrowed his eyes slightly. Wang Decepticon's body was shocked, and he quickly waved his hand and asked his subordinates to carry 10 large boxes up. Each chest was filled with gold spirit coins, and it was estimated that there were more than 50,000. In fact, for Wang Badian, it is a loss in a short time. However, the gold spirit coins can be earned separately, and the territory and industry are priceless. For both sides, in fact, there is no loss at all. Kamui, 10 large chests filled with gold spirit coins were sucked into the Shenwei space. At this time, Pain's other 5 paths stood beside the white-masked man one by one, exuding invisible coercion. After Wang Badian saw these 5 people, he secretly looked at it and couldn't help but gasp for air. Good fellow, a master of the 5th order of the Great Evening Realm. This mysterious Xiao organization. It's extraordinary. This kind of power, it can be said that except for the top 10 families, other families cannot resist. The white-masked man's means of exterminating the clan is also not dragging mud and water at all, and several large meteorites outside the sky are directly smashed, which is full of destructive power. If there are still those who are not dead, the other Pain will go around looking for survivors to mend the knife. Not only is it crisp and neat, but it also invisibly helps the Wang family a big favor. My god, even the demolition fee is saved, it's really good. At that time, the Wang family only needs to arrange a few Earth attribute lore royal powerhouses to bury all the ruins and corpses in it. Since Yuanjie was the Wang king who was notified, Wang Badian asked curiously, "Why didn't you see brother Yuanjie coming?" The white-masked man's eyes narrowed slightly, and he said in a deep voice, "He's in school." "How? Do you have an idea about him?" Wang Badian quickly explained, No. Don't ask if you shouldn't." After speaking, Pain's 6 collective teleported back to the Shenwei space. Yuanjie took off his white mask and took a big breath of fresh air. He opened the 10 boxes one by one, and his eyes were full of golden light. "That's nice." "Hey." Yuanjie grinned. "Congratulations to Heavenly Dao." Yuanjie didn't expect that he could actually earn 500,000 gold spirit coins when he went out. Good guy. It's just a small family. Is it really worth that much? As everyone knows, in fact, That small family is not worth so much money at all, and Wang Badian deliberately raised the price in order to make a friend. After destroying the family and being a little tired, Yuanjie returned to the small villa to sleep. Until noon, Li Tiansha came back to wake him up. Brother Ji, what's going on with you? Not going to class all morning. Huh? Yuanjie was confused. Do you think I need to take a class? Li Tiansha was speechless for a while, not knowing what to say. I knew that the other party was quibbling, but I couldn't refute it. Okay, I'll go to class in the afternoon, Yuanjie stretched. HMPH, Li Tiansha, don't go overboard. This person can't be coaxed, otherwise he will get carried away. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the first class was personally attended by Dean Li Qing. He glanced at Yuanjie's position and found that the other party was sitting upright like a good student. He had just received the wind, and a small family had disappeared, and the first object he suspected was definitely Yuanjie. However, Li Qing didn't care. He didn't say anything. My own students are people who do great things. As a teacher, what else is there to say except to cheer silently? Okay, today's class is a practical class. Please follow me out of the classroom. Li Qing took a group of 12 people to an open space, and saw that he pressed a switch, and the scene on the field changed. The students were amazed and could not help but marvel at the excellent facilities and equipment of the Arago Academy. This lesson, the main training is your endurance. As we all know, spiritual power is limited, while human potential is infinite, so, I'm going to unleash all your potential. After a burst of dazzling light, an imposing tide of spirit beasts suddenly appeared on the small hillside opposite. It was the first time Yuanjie had seen so many high-level spirit beasts, and he couldn't help but feel his scalp numb. Battle? Not just a one-man battle, you are partners. You should work together. Exactly how to cooperate, you can discuss it yourself. Everyone gathered around Yuanjie and waited for his arrangement. There are a total of 8 geniuses of the law imperial system in our class, all of the 6 major attributes. You are in groups of 2, such as the group of wind and fire attributes, and you have blessed cooperation with each other, and you are harassing and blocking the impact of the spirit beast tide in the front. Remember, which direction of the teammate can't carry it, the others must help. Then, there are 2 in the physical imperial department except me. Shallow, you take another classmate. Attack from the side. Don't be reckless. Pay attention to safety. As for Fengming, you come with me. Fengming was puzzled, and he silently followed behind Yuanjie. Have you discussed tactics? Li Qing looked at them. Okay, Dean, ready to start? Yuanjie beckoned. Okay, as soon as the words fell, the spirit beast moved. Overwhelming 12 people. Xianjiao, who is a water and soil attribute of the lore royal system, took the lead in making a move and erected a tall great wall. At the same time, Xianjiao, who was of the Jinmu attribute, used magic to set up catapults one after another. The Xianjiao of the civil engineering attribute condensed into huge stone balls. 3, 2, 1, fire. Wait a minute, let me fire element add some damage to the shell. One by one, huge fireballs bombarded the spirit beast tide. Dean Li Qing looked at the side and nodded. Really good, not only strength, but also brain. This trebuchet scheme was thought up by Yuanjie, right? He couldn't help but look at Yuanjie, only to see that he continued to use the flying thunder god to cross the number of spirit beasts, and finally reach the end of the spirit beast tide. At the same time, Li Tiansha and another physical imperial Xianjiao attacked from the left and right sides. Li Tiansha burst out with amazing power and knocked over a piece of spirit beast with one punch. Squad leader, they have all started fighting after leaving Ruxu. What about us? Yuanjie smiled mysteriously. Do you want to put on armor for your pet? Chapter 113. Fengming looks about 5 or 6 points similar to Naruto, but his personality is different. Maybe it has something to do with his fate. His life is not as tragic as Naruto's, at least his childhood was accompanied by his parents, not alone in a rental house eating expired ramen. Of course, Genji would not treat him as Naruto of this world. He is Fengming, not Naruto. Naruto has only one, and Fengming has only one. Come on, summon your 9-tailed demon fox, Yuanjie shouted. Fengming was stunned at first, and then bit his finger, and slapped the ground with the words in his mouth. A giant 9-tailed demon fox roared. It could be seen that it was not willingly subordinate to Fengming, and its size seemed to have contempt. Let's get on. There was light in Fengming's eyes. He was a man eager to fight. The nine-tailed demon fox reluctantly ran forward on all four legs. He was limited by the spirit beast contract, and he was powerless to resist the master's order. As he ran, a blue light gradually appeared on the body of the nine-tails. Pieces of scale armor were armed on its body, from the head to the tail, until every inch of skin was covered with armor. Finally, the helmet closed, and Yuanjie and Feng Ming stood side by side in the pentagonal gem on the forehead of the nine-tailed demon fox. Did Madara feel the same when he used it before? Yuanjie's white hair was windless, and Feng Ming turned his head to look at him with a shocked face. Squad leader, don't talk, it's time to start. Feng Ming came back to his senses, and his eyes firmly looked at the tide of spirit beasts that were constantly surging in front of him. He manipulated the nine-tailed demon fox to stretch out its claws and slap it on the ground. The ground was dusty, and in front of the nine-tailed demon fox, a deep gully visible to the naked eye spread towards the spirit beast. Is this my power? This unrealistic idea popped up in the minds of Feng Ming and the nine-tailed demon fox at the same time. The deep ditch was still expanding, and many spirit beasts fell into it. Defeat the spirit beast points plus 1000. Defeating a spirit beast can get 1 point, that is to say, the move just now, at least 1000 kills. The strong vibration over there immediately attracted the attention of everyone in the group and mentor Li Qing. That was... what the... my god, the squad leader's giant armor is worn on the nine-tails, can it fit like this? Li Qing was stunned, he never expected that Yuanjie could actually come up with this trick. Wonderful. It's wonderful. He couldn't help but marvel. Yuanjie sus a new power is blessed on the nine-tailed demon fox, not only can greatly increase the attack power of the nine-tails, but the armor can also enhance its defensive power. It's simply invincible. The birth of this trick, I am afraid that even the low-level gods will not be able to match them. The frontiers of Daxia have been saved. Li Qing burst into tears. For so many years, the soldiers and masters of the great Xia dynasty have exchanged their lives for their lives to win a temporary peace, and the price is too great. However, Yuanjie and Feng Ming's pretending nine-tailed demon fox appeared, and Li Qing seemed to see a bright future. Even if the nine-tailed demon fox does not recognize its owner, it has to admit that it kills super cool today. There was no need for Feng Ming to give more instructions, it pounced and grabbed. And the incarnation of the god of war continued to swim in the tide of spirit beasts. Can you dance a sword? Feng Ming turned his head and nodded. Yuanjie smiled. I'm not only asking you, I'm also asking this little guy. He leaned down and gently patted the nine-tailed demon fox's head. The nine-tailed demon fox let out a low roar, and actually made a human voice. Will I still be able to get a weapon someday? The kaleidoscope pattern of Yuanjie's right eye rotated wildly, and he shouted, this sword, you have to take the nine-tails. At this time, in the right claw of the nine-tails, a blue light shot out, and a giant sword up to 100 meters long appeared in its hand. The eyes of the nine-tailed demon fox lit up. Roar, both claws holding the sword and slashing a sword. The terrifying sword light spread out like an arc, and everywhere it went, there was no grass. The grass has been cut off, not to mention the spirit beast. The bodies of countless spirit beasts turned into powder and disappeared into this heaven and earth. Defeat spirit beast points plus 15713. In the distance, everyone on the Great Wall was stunned. Ruzu's throat surged for a while, and it took a long time to say 2 words. Li Tiansha looked at the nine-tailed demon fox with burning eyes, killing all directions. If only I had a range killing move too, perhaps influenced by her state of mind. There was an acupuncture point shining right below her chest. I broke through. Li Tian looked down at the acupuncture point in a daze. Then, she tried to press there with her thumb, and the green light on her body was even greater than before. Even faintly with a hint of blue light. Her blonde hair had become longer, perhaps just a long shawl, but now it was almost waist length. At the same time, the color of her pupils quietly changed slightly. Feeling the powerful combat power at this moment, she rushed to a spirit beast and punched out. Time seems to freeze at this moment. Next, a scream broke the tranquility. The powerful aura that passed through the body of the spirit beast knocked a large group of spirit beasts behind. Good fellow, fight cattle across the mountain. Li Qing was stunned. I didn't expect that I could actually comprehend the raging battle intent in the battle and break through. However, how can her cultivation still gradually merge with the ninth order of the realm? It stands to reason that her combat power at this time should reach the top level of the fusion realm. Her physique is a little strange. Li Qing touched his chin and groaned. The nine-tailed demon fox is killing all sides. With a weapon of the nine-tailed demon fox, the attack power and large-range destruction power are doubled. It has become the brightest boy in the Spirit Beast Tide. Every time you go down, you can get at least 8,000 points. It's outrageous. The nine-tailed demon fox is slashing more and more heads. It has been born for tens of thousands of years, and it is the first time it has killed so coolly. This simulation resisted the test of the Spirit Beast Tide and completely became a big show stage for Yuanjie and Feng Ming. Since the Spirit Beasts found that the big fox had killed fiercely, they all turned their heads back to attack it. On the Great Wall, the 8 Xianjiao of the Dharma Royal System, you look at me, I look at you. What's going on? They all went to beat the squad leader and Feng Ming, so why did they go? Earth element Xianjiao moved the Great Wall forward, gradually approaching the Spirit Beast Tide. Shoot me! The Xianjiao of the Law Imperial System on the Great Wall quickly armed themselves, and one by one huge fireballs smashed towards the nine-tailed demon fox. Bursts of fire burst out, and the air was filled with the smell of meat. In the end, the last batch of Spirit Beasts of the Spirit Beast Tide was cleaned up by Li Tiansha. Li Qing looked at the chronograph. Good guy, 100,000 Spirit Beasts were actually wiped out in just 15 minutes. This time set a new record since the opening of Aragao Academy, and even increased the limit time by 10 minutes. A lesson lasts 45 minutes, and there are 20 minutes left before the class ends. What should I say for the remaining 20 minutes? Li Qing made a mistake. Chapter 114. The final result of the test of simulating the resistance to the Spirit Beast Tide is out. Yuanjie and Feng Ming won more than 70,000 Spirit Beasts in total, with an average of 35,000 points per person. The third place is Li Tiansha, especially after opening the fifth door behind her. The combat effectiveness directly soared a notch, and a punch and a kick was a large piece of death, and a total of more than 8,000 points were obtained. The fourth place is another SS-level body royal system. She strengthens her mind, directly incarnated as Iron Man to open the Gundam, and controls the mecha she made to bombard indiscriminately, but because the Spirit Beast skin is rough and thick, it is actually not much to kill, only more than 5,000 points. The rest was divided equally among the 8 Xianjiao of the French imperial lineage. Li Qing had only 20 minutes left, teaching the students in the class one by one. Point out their shortcomings in the process of fighting, such as naming Ruzu and accusing her of not watching the play during the battle. War is not a child's play. You must always maintain a tense state. This kind of inaction in watching the play is likely to kill herself and her teammates. Ruzu lowered her head in shame, and the other Xianjiao of the Law Imperial System also blushed. In fact, just now, watching the play was not only Ruzu alone, they were also watching, but the dean did not name it. Li Qing walked to Li Tiansha's side, gave a thumbs up full of youthful meaning, and seriously praised 2 sentences. Getting the teacher's recognition made Li Tiansha very excited. Li Qing called Yuanjie to the office alone, and he sat down and drank hot water first. Just now, you performed very well, living up to the reputation of SSS-level physique. Yuanjie nodded lightly, without too much expression. Li Qing's heart was shocked. This son is calm, not arrogant and impatient. Is genius a template? This morning, there was a small family in Jingchang that was exterminated. Li Qing said this leisurely. Yuanjie sat down on his butt and cocked Erlang's legs. I know, I will destroy it. Li Qing, is it so straightforward? Can you tell me why? I believe you are not the kind of person who kills innocents. Yuanjie spread his hands and said, they want to take Susanoo and the 8 Dunjia exercises from me. Then choose to attack shallow, trying to blackmail me with her. Do you say they deserve to die? Li Qing burst out laughing. Then they really deserve to die? Susanoo should be the special ability of your eyes, right? Yuanjie did not answer. Li Qing knew it in his heart. At the end, Li Qing admonished, if you destroy the clan, you must destroy it cleanly, otherwise, it will not be good to provoke any cause and effect in the future. Yuanjie grinned deeply. You know, I've always killed cleanly. After school in the evening, Yuanjie and Li Tiansha walked out of the school, and they were arranged to purchase some cultivation props. At the door, Wang Qing stood there alone, as if waiting for someone. Lingayan Academy and Desolate Ancient Academy are neighbors, and the dozen academies that rebelled before the academy still failed to escape the clutches of the family. More than a dozen of their colleges were consolidated into one college and renamed Henshi Academy. the dozen or so deans were all killed, and the Saga Alliance seized power from them. Since then, Zenshi Academy has become the exclusive college of the family. Covering an area of tens of thousands of acres, it is the largest college in Daksha. Ordinary people are really not qualified to study, because Zenshi Academy only accepts children from wealthy families. In terms of student sources, Zenshi Academy has a total of more than 300 SS-level geniuses, more than 1,400 S-level geniuses, and the rest are countless. And the desolate Ancient Academy and the 6-Dao Academy combined, there are now less than 200 SS-level geniuses. From the perspective of paper strength, it is true that Zenshi Academy is much stronger than the 6-Daos of the wasteland, but the Ancient Academy and the 6-Dao Academy have SSS-level genius towns respectively. Zenshi College sent envoys to negotiate with Deans Li Qing and Fang Yu, and agreed to have an academic exchange once a semester. It can be seen that Zenshi Academy is very ambitious, and they want to truly become the first academy of Daksha. Civilians are not unable to enter Zenshi Academy. There is only one condition, that is, to sell themselves into the family, which is ugly, that is, to be a dog for the family. Don't say that there are really some people who are willing to do this in order to become stronger. At present, in the Jingcheng Academy district, Huanggu Academy and Liudao Academy are fighting side by side, looking at Zenshi College from a distance, forming an invisible confrontation. Of course, how the academy fights is an adult's business, and it has nothing to do with Wen Qiang. She waited at the gate of the desolate Ancient Academy early this morning to find Brother Ji. In the name of gratitude, she wanted to have more contact with him, so as not to lose her life in the future. Brother J, a nice female voice sounded, and Wang Qing wanted to walk forward, but was stopped by the security guard at the door. Li Tiansha looked back and saw that it was actually his former teammate Wang Qing. She had a very good impression of this rich girl, felt that she did not mean to look down on herself in the slightest, treated people kindly, looked beautiful, and behaved very gently and comfortably. She rushed out the door and held Wang Qing's hand slightly. "Qing, why are you here?" Wang Qing glanced up at Yuanjie beside the other party, lowered his head embarrassedly and said, I came to find Brother Ji. I want to thank him personally." "Okay, you guys talk." Although Li Tiansha had a little bump in her heart, she didn't say much, gave up her position, and let the two of them talk. She walked to the side and muttered, "Why does it seem that every woman seems to have something to do with Brother Ji? Is something really wrong?" Then, she saw that Wang Qing didn't know where to conjure a bouquet of flowers, and wanted to hand it to Yuanjie, but Yuanjie didn't want it. "I'm sorry, I'm a man and don't like flowers." Wang Qing was stunned. She specially picked the flowers from the garden of the ancestor, but she didn't expect Yuanjie to refuse. "The flowers are beautiful, but the words hurt. If you don't have anything else, I'm going to go shopping with Asaka. I just want to thank you for giving our Wang family such a big bargain this morning." Wang Qing finally held out a sentence. Yuanjie waved his hand and said, "No need to thank you. Your Decepticon ancestor gave me a sum of money. Let's both clear it." Wang Qing. Yuanjie turned around and was about to leave. She called out to him, "I want to treat you to a meal. Is that okay?" Yuanjie's footsteps paused, and then replied, "No, I still like to eat shallow meals, outside. I am not used to eating." Wang Qing watched him leave her blankly. It took a long time before he came back to his senses. Her eyes were bloodshot, and she squatted down and touched the footprints left by Yuanjie on the ground, and the touch was very cold. She wiped it with her hand and turned to leave. Chapter 115. In the new semester, basically every class will have a test that simulates the resistance to the tide of spirit beasts. Today, basically all the freshmen of the Aragao Academy and the 6-Dao Academy have completed the test. What? The record is 15 minutes and 21 seconds? How is this possible? Yes, how can 100,000 fusion realm level spirit beasts be killed in 15 minutes? Don't lie to me if I read less. Really? When the tutors of the other classes released the video, everyone was speechless. In the video, the nine-tailed demon fox standing up to 400 meters tall, fully armed, slashes there with a sword. It's really a bunch of children. It's terrible. Is this the true strength of the top physique? Someone muttered. No, let me say, that nine-tailed demon fox is also terrifying, otherwise, it would not be able to exert such terrifying combat power. The elite class, sure enough, there are many talents. On the other hand, the elite class of the 6-Dao Academy was dwarfed by the desolate Ancient Academy. It took them 50 minutes to clean up the 100,000 spirit beasts. Originally, they were very happy, because the record of the 6-day Academy was set by Yuanjie alone, 40 minutes. Being able to get infinitely close to the record of their predecessors is a victory for them. However, the records from the desolate ancient academy came over, which startled them all. They can't express their shock in words. The Zhou family master, we can't contact other families. Zhou Qianyu wrinkled her eyebrows and said displeased, what's going on with them? Did you ask clearly? The communicator wiped the cold sweat on his forehead and said, they don't say, but I guess it may have something to do with the destruction of that family. This morning, there was a small family that had worked together a few days ago to make a merit plan, and suddenly there was no more. Originally, Zhou Qianyu did not pay attention to it. Extinguish it, it's just a small family anyway, and death is death. However, after that family was exterminated, the butterfly effect brought by it was particularly large, which made Zhou Qianyu's heart lifted. Wouldn't it be, against us, the 8 great evening realm masters sent out before have not returned, and even the corpse capital cannot be found, and the world has evaporated. The Zhou family also made a small compensation for the group of small families who lost masters. However, unexpectedly, one day, each other's attitudes changed dramatically. The little families were thinking that it was not appropriate to contact the Zhou family, the mastermind behind the scenes, and maybe they could avoid this difficulty. Unexpectedly, the next morning, another small family died, and its territory and property were taken over by the Yu family. The little families began to panic, and they took the initiative to find the Zhou family and ask Zhou Qianyu to quickly send experts to protect their family. What do you mean? Zhou Qianyu looked displeased. Our Zhou family sent gods to protect you. What about the Zhou family, Patriarch Zhou? You can't see death without saving it. Why did I just stand by and watch? Didn't I send a force to each of your clans to squat down? But how can a small force make them feel safe? The combat power of a small force, at most the strength of the third order of the Great Knight realm, can stop the masters above the Great Knight? They all know that the one who exterminated the clan is the Zio Organization, and I heard that in the Zio Organization, there is a top powerhouse above the Big Knight. You also know that there are powerful people above the Great Knight in the Zio Organization. Even if all the gods of my Zhou family move, they can't resist his attack. Zhou Qianyu was as stable as an old dog on the surface, but in fact, she was panicked. They forced this group to give up my Zhou family, right? To be honest, she was also afraid. The higher a person stands, the more afraid she is of falling into the abyss. You can't sit still like this anymore, you have to think of a way, Zhoujin muttered. On the third day, Wang Qing specially took half a day off to cheer for the extermination of the Zio Organization. Although she didn't know if Yuanjie was in it, she hoped he would know. In fact, if she did this, she would only make Yuanjie feel disgusting in the family. No matter how you say it's an alliance, if you don't help, forget it. When the clan is extinguished, it seems that you are still very happy. Yuanjie put on a white mask, and the face in the mask was very gloomy. Hard work. Are you Brother Ji's master? The man in the white mask did not reply, and Wang Qing smiled awkwardly. Wang Qing raised her head and saw the 3-hook jade riding wheel eye, and she felt very familiar at that time, as if she had seen it somewhere. Finally, she caught up with the man in the white mask, carefully pulled the corner of his clothes and asked, "Excuse me, are you Brother Ji?" The white masked man paused in his footsteps and said lightly, "I'm not him, I'm Pain Xiandao." Wang Qing's eyes darkened and let go of her hand and turned to leave. The extermination operation organized by Zio lasted until the 5th day. At this time, even the Saga Alliance was alarmed. What's going on? Did they break into something? It was actually linked to the 9 ethnic groups one after another. There are only 3 of the small families involved in the operation, and they are shivering and sleeping restlessly every night. The atmosphere of despair gradually spread in the family, and many families even rioted, questioning why the head of the family provoked such a terrible enemy. Although the Zio Organization never acted at night, they did not know if tomorrow's sun would be the last day they saw. Alliance Master, please save us, no matter how much it costs, we are willing to accept it. The 3 small families no longer believed in the Zhou family, and now the only thing that could save them was the Alliance army. The old owner has been removed, and this time all the new people have come. Huangfu Gaogayan was silent, his heart weighing. If it is not saved, the family alliance exists in name only, and it sounds like shelter, but in fact, It stands by and sees death without saving. However, if it is saved, the price will definitely be very huge, and it is really not necessary for a few small families. Don't panic first, I'll go and negotiate with the Zio organization tomorrow. Huangfu Gaogayan planned to use a delaying measure to see if he could persuade the other side to stop retaliating against society and give him a face to the family alliance. At 11 o'clock the next morning, Huangfu Gaogayan got up, and when he first came to one of the small families, he only saw ruin, and he had already left for tea. Inside, there is a Rain family busy. Rain and snow, what do you mean by that? He stepped forward and questioned. Originally, he was indifferent to the territory and industry of the small family, and felt that the meat was too small and did not want to eat it. But if he doesn't eat it, it doesn't mean that other families are allowed to eat it. What's more, the one who ate this piece of meat was actually one of the 3 major families of their family alliance. Rain family. If you eat it like this, the strength of the Huangfu family will one day be inferior to the Yu family. He must stop. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116. Yu Huaxia twisted his crotch and smiled and walked up to say hello. Yo, what wind is blowing the Alliance Master? This is not an interrogative sentence, but an affirmative sentence. Since the Yu family dared to eat this piece of lean meat, it showed that they definitely had a way to deal with the questions of the Saga Alliance. What do you mean by the Yu family? Huangfu Gaogayan's face was very ugly. He felt that this behavior of the Yu family was not to give him face as the leader of the family alliance. It's not interesting, just passing by and seeing it, help clean it up. By the way, Huangfu Gaogayan narrowed his eyes, just to help clean up, what about otherwise? What do you think? Yu Huaxia pretended to be surprised. Well, your Yu family retreat, this place is taken over by our Huangfu family. Since this is the case, then Huangfu Gaogayan followed her words. The rain and snow were unmoved, still looking like a hippie smile. Then how dare you bother the Alliance Master? This kind of rough work is still done by little women. Huangfu Gaogayan's tone was filled with undoubtedness. I will say it again now, Yu family, immediately, leave, hear that? At this time, a rain of flowers fell beside the rain and snow, and a slim figure appeared in the petals. Huangfu Gaogayan's face changed. I haven't seen it for a long time. Huangfu Gaogayan, your alliance roleplay is getting more and more into the drama, show God. Huangfu Gaogayan naturally knew the comer. It was the SSS-level physique god of the Yu family. In the country of the Great Xia dynasty, the god with the highest strength. People are called the first gods. Don't dare. Huangfu Gaogayan quickly changed his kind face and bowed. How can the first god come here? Come and see. By the way, the woman is wearing a veil. No one can see the truth, but from the appearance of the body, it should be a very young woman. In front of the great power, he had to bow his head. If Huangfu Gaogayan brought the other gods of the family over, he might dare to speak harder, but he was the only one here. If the game fails, it can be restarted, and if the person dies, it cannot be restarted. In that case, then I'll go. Don't send it. Huangfu Gaogayan turned around. His fawning expression was instantly gloomy, and he turned into a stream of light and left the ruins. It's good that you're here, otherwise, my mother really can't deal with him. The woman smiled sweetly, and then cast her gaze in the direction of the Arago Academy. The Zio organization, it seems to be going there. What is the relationship between them and Yuanjie? After Yuanjie was far away from the place of the incident, he immediately teleported back to the small villa with the flying thunder god, and he took off his auspicious black robe and took off his white mask. Then these two things were thrown into the Shenwei space. He sat down and drank, and when he was leaving just now, he sensed a very powerful aura, which should be the middle god. He peered over a distance with his white eyes and recognized the other party at a glance. It turned out to be Huangfu Gaogayan. It seems that the Saga Alliance has begun to pay attention to this matter. Tomorrow, or directly destroy the remaining two together, in the face of the impending threat, Yuanjie should plan well. Keking-san, I'm in. The light purple long-haired girl walked out of the void. Yuanjie said to her, tomorrow you arrange it. I want to meet my sister and her two girlfriends. Although these 3 SSS-level geniuses have already announced that they have joined the Zio organization, they have not met until now, and they have not even handed over their war clothes to each other, which is really a bit unusual. Keqing nodded, disappeared into the void, and immediately contacted Yuanjie in his heart. Lord Mother, Lord said, I want to go to you tomorrow. Yuanjie was practicing cross-legged, and she was unmoved with her eyes closed. What is he doing with us? The Lord said he wanted to meet you. Yuanjie's eyes opened suddenly. She was a little disturbed now, and she couldn't cultivate anymore. Ever since she came into the world 5 years ago, she had been running away from him. She was afraid that she would not be able to control her emotions, so she found an excuse to leave the house. But can you escape for a while, for a lifetime? Let's take a look first. With the uncertainty of identity, I can't see him with his true face for the time being. After thinking about it, she said to Keqing, you bring him over tomorrow, okay? Keqing nodded, and then came out of the void and replied to Yuanjie. Since Li Tiansha successfully opened Doom a few days ago, his training volume has doubled again. Yuanjie was bored reading novels at home, and when he saw the addiction, he suddenly came with a yellow button. Blanche. This dog author, updating 4,000 words a day, how can it be enough to read? Is there a big guy who has more words every day? I must give him a good gift. Now that he has money, he only sells 1 gold spirit coin for the Great God certificate, and there is still no problem in giving it away. But he is reading tomato-free novels, and he is not the kind of person who relies on subscriptions to just dinner. Most of the authors are rotten, and how much can he eat every day by relying on the system push, and more 10,000 words a day? That's thankless behavior, and few authors do it. Yuanjie put down his mobile phone irritably. He walked out the window and saw that Li Tiansha was still training unremittingly there. It's stupid, but it's progressive. Yuanjie estimated that her full-fledged combat power should be able to fight a big late realm of the first and second orders, right? However, her cultivation still hasn't changed, and she still gradually merges with the ninth order of the realm, and she can't understand it. Yuanjie clicks on the system panel to view his properties. Host, Yuanjie Physique, SSS-level, Ability, White Eye 3 stages, Eternal Kaleidoscope Riding Wheel Eye, Strength. 57, Increase Character Strength, Key. 79, Increase Skill Damage, Root Bone. 35, Increase Character Health and Defense, Body Technique. 55, Increase Casting Speed and Attack Speed. After more than 2 months, Yuanjie has accumulated a lot of attribute points. According to the degree of evolution of the 2 eyes, he prioritized a key attribute that can increase the damage of the skill upward, and it is precisely because his key is high enough that the skill damage such as Shinra Shinshen, Amaterasu, and Tenji Shuckster will be so terrifying. Secondly, he added the strength and body attributes related to physical skills, and seeing that there were still 5 remaining attribute points, he first increased the strength to 60. Ding! The strength attribute has reached the initial milestone. The Pure Land of Elysium has been activated. Skill Multiplier. The character's current attack power is x 5000%. This skill is too violent. Please use it with caution. I blanch. Pure Land of Elysium? Isn't this a big move for Grandma Tsunade? Brother Jay was stunned. Moreover, the attack power of this move is a bit powerful, but it is not as good as the Heavenly Barrier Shock Star, but the spiritual power consumption of the Heavenly Barrier Shock Star is too large, and it is almost half less blue when used once. It seems that learning this trick will give you an extra whole card in the future. Chapter 117. Yuanjie plans to meet with his sister and her 2 girlfriends tomorrow morning, and then go over together to destroy the remaining 2 small families. At 8 o'clock in the morning, taking advantage of Li Tiansha to go to class, Yuanjie called Keqing out. Master, wait a minute, I'll establish a special connection channel first. Yuanjie held his chest and watched from the sidelines, spending more than half an hour to finally open the space tunnel. Master, it's okay, please come with me. Yuanjie only saw a door half open, and he couldn't see anything in the dark inside. He gently pushed away, and after a moment of dizziness, he felt that all colorful clouds of light were in front of him. This scenery is a bit beautiful. Suddenly, his body passively accelerated, and he stood unsteadily, falling straight towards the water. Plop down. Yuanjie seems to have fallen into a big dye vat, and his eyes are full of all kinds of pastels, even the whole world. The body continued to accelerate, passing through the pastel world, and came to a black and white world. In the black and white world, there is nothing, as if he is the only one left in the whole world. Hey, anyone, he accelerated again, as if shattering a layer of glass, and in front of him, a huge Tyrannosaurus Rex rushed towards him with a large mouth of blood. I blanch. Fortunately, his body accelerated through the barrier at the moment of being bitten. It's a world full of microbes, with all kinds of single-celled organisms roaming in it. Before he could see clearly, the scene in front of him changed again. This time, he came to a castle that was lavishly decorated. Yuanjie looked up, and then looked left and right, and after waiting for most of the day, when he was sure that he would no longer teleport, he put down his heart and patted his chest. Unexpectedly, suddenly his body was pulled by a wile, and he entered another space. This time it was a long dark corridor with lights on the wall lit up from near to far. Yuanjie walked forward suspiciously, and when he reached the end, a huge carved dragon gate blocked his way. When he just wanted to push it open, he didn't expect the door to open by itself. He walked slowly, and the dim palace suddenly lit up. I saw a woman in black leather sitting elegantly on the huge stone chair in the middle. She was holding a black wand, obviously closed her eyes, but exuded the breath of no one to enter. Quite a queen's temperament. "Brother, are you coming?" The woman suddenly opened her eyes, and a white gauze covered half of her face. Yuanjie looked left and right, and after making sure that he would no longer be pulled into the weird alien space, he finally let go of his heart. The experience of time and space travel just now almost didn't scare him to death, just like the first time Doctor Strange was slapped out of his soul by an ancient mage, and a big shift in space came. Yuanjie looked skeptical and asked, "Sister, are you also troublesome when you go home?" Yuanjie covered his mouth and chuckled, making a sound like a lark, and her ghostly figure approached Yuanjie's side. "Actually, I'm teasing you. In fact, you don't need to bother so much at all." Sure enough, Yuanjie smiled bitterly and shook his head. "Ho ho ho, Xiao Yi, your brother is so cute." Another voice came from behind, and I saw a red-haired woman approaching. The woman has a pair of green pupils, her upper body is wearing white gold armor. Below is a red pleated skirt, slender beautiful legs are covered with translucent white silk, and a pure lust wind rushes to her face. Most notably, she has pointed ears. There is also a pair of colorful butterfly wings on the back. The wings were flapping slightly behind her with her breathing, not very large, but particularly moving, making Yuanjie unable to take his eyes off for a while. Not a Terran. Yuanjie was shocked. It was the first time he had seen a creature that was not a Terran. Li Tiansha does not count, although she is not a person, but I don't know what breed. Her name is Susu, SSS-level law imperial lineage. She should be the only genius in this world with full attribute enhancement. I blanch. It is actually a great mage with all attributes of the 6 series of gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind and thunder. When awakening his physique, Yuanjie wondered, why can he only choose one attribute, and all of them are not fragrant? Unexpectedly, in front of his eyes stood a legendary super archmage with full attribute enhancement. Full attribute enhancement? Shouldn't the 6 elements be SSS-level attributes? Susu snapped his fingers and smiled. Congratulations, the answer is correct, Bull Batch. Yuanjie silently gave a thumbs up. This Susu's sister in front of him should be the peak of the French royal department in this world, right? Yuanjie also reminded in a low voice, by the way, she is now phaseless. Yuanjie, ? With a swipe of Susu's small hand, a staff inlaid with 6 colored gemstones appeared in her hand, and she gently placed the staff on Yuanjie's chest. The phaseless realm is a realm above the Great Evening Realm, I blanch. Doesn't it mean that the laws of the heavenly Dao are damaged, and there is no longer a big night in this world? How did a phaseless realm suddenly appear? I have been sealed since the Emperor fell era. It was your sister who lifted my seal. My original realm was the flying immortal realm, but in today's era of lack of spiritual energy, at most, I can only exert the strength of the phaseless realm. Sister, you really brought me a big baby. Love you to death. With this phaseless realm powerhouse entering the Akatsuki Organization, isn't this a crab walking? Yuanjie remembered the mysterious woman in the secret forest. She said that she was the God King realm, who was more than the flying immortal realm. Susu patiently explained, the flying immortal realm is one realm higher than the God King realm. So it is. It seems that this young lady Susu is the most powerful person he has seen so far. An SSS-level full attribute enhanced flying wonderland, who can withstand it? By the way, Sister Susu, you don't look like a Terran. Yuanjie finally raised his doubts. Susu smiled gently, and her expression was nostalgic. I was originally the little princess of the elven race, who was sealed for millions of years, and only found out after I was born. It turns out that the elven race has long perished and disappeared in the long history of this planet. Now, there should be only one elf left, right?" Yuanjie was stunned, and seemed to poke people's sore spots. He hurriedly said, "I'm sorry to remind you of something sad." Susu was also calm, and she smiled indifferently. "Sister Yuanjie, you seem to have forgotten to introduce me." A white piece of paper floated, and then turned into 1,000 paper cranes and landed on Yuanjie's shoulder. Yuanjie lightly nodded the head of the 1,000 paper cranes, and said with a smile, "By the way, brother, I have another girlfriend. She is also an SSS-level genius, but her physique is a bit special." Yuanjie looked left and right, but did not see the man because he did not look back. The 1,000 paper crane fluttered its wings and took the initiative to fly onto Yuanjie's shoulder. 1,000 paper crane looked up at Yuanjie's face and couldn't help but stay there. "This is brother?" Chapter 118. "What about this girlfriend of mine? Her physique is that she can turn herself into pieces of paper, immune to physical attacks, in addition to attacking, flying and flying. Awesome, huh?" Yuanjie's expression froze. "Isn't this Xiaonan? I didn't expect to appear here, and I became my sister's best friend." "Xiaonan," Yuanjie called softly. Yuanjie was stunned. How did he know the name of his best friend? "I obviously haven't introduced it yet." At this time, more white papers appeared on Yuanjie's shoulders, which finally converged into a pair of hands, and then a person. "Brother, I finally found you." Yuanjie, ? Susu, ? "What's going on? Isn't it my brother? Why did you suddenly shout brother?" Yuanjie was puzzled. Even Yuanjie was confused and couldn't figure out the situation. "Brother, you don't remember me?" Xiaonan Lihu looked at him with rain. Yuanjie was speechless. To be honest, he really didn't know that he had a cheap sister. "Back then, brother, you resurrected us at the cost of your life, but unfortunately, in the end, I still couldn't avenge you with my own hands." Yuanjie seemed to have thought of something, and he wiped her tears for her and asked softly, "Xiaonan, you shouldn't be from this era, right?" "Well, I've been sleeping for more than 100,000 years, isn't that right? I'm only 20 years old, we don't match our ages, how can I be your brother?" But Xiaonan herself felt a little unrealistic, but Yuanjie really looked like her brother, and it was not too much to say that it was exactly the same. Could it be reincarnation? Thinking of this, Xiaonan finally showed a smile. Her brother, no matter how he was reborn, was so good. He used to be a peerless genius, and now he is also a genius with an SSS-level physique. Yuanjie's head hurts a little. Obviously he is his best friend, and suddenly he has become his brother's sister. It seems that Xiaonan has identified Yuanjie as his brother. How should the two get along well in the future? It's messed up. It's all messed up. Yuanjie was helpless, and came to pick up a sticky sister, the kind that couldn't be thrown away. But fortunately, this sister's combat power seems to be a little high. Isn't it? Do I, a systematic person, still need to eat soft rice? At this moment, Yuanjie burst out with a strong fighting spirit in his heart. In the final analysis, his own cultivation is too low. The three of them were in Yuanjie's palace, chatting for a while. After all, Brother Ji is a modern person, and he didn't have to say it, which made the two women tremble. Yuanjie looked at his watch, then stood up and said, "It's time to go." Yuanjie thought. Her dark one swiped towards the void, and a spatial crack appeared. Well, the old lady actually comprehended the laws of space. Yuanjie was shocked. The spirit imperial powerhouse who can use spatial teleportation techniques, is really terrifying. You can imagine that suddenly a group of spirit creatures directly ignored all formations and descended on your bedside to give you a knife. Just ask if you are afraid. This time, Yuanjie did not engage in so many strange scenes, and stepping out was the real world. The group of the Yu family suddenly sensed that a strangely powerful force was approaching, and they suddenly turned around. I saw Yuanjie's two siblings, as well as Susu and Xiaonan coming out of a special wormhole. Because of her special status, Susu wore a bull head mask to cover her pointy ears. All four of them were wearing auspicious black robes, unified clothing, coupled with bottomless strength, which made people more awe-inspiring. Let's get started. Yuanjie didn't say much nonsense, directly turned on the immortal art and transformed into a white-haired boy. Immediately afterwards, the kaleidoscope pattern of his right eye rotated wildly, and he clasped his hands together and roared, A few cut antennas, a huge gravitational ball flew out of his hand. Yuanjie said expressionlessly, "The time for sanctions has come." Suddenly, the earth shook, and countless houses of the small family were destroyed, and screams and cries for help began one after another. The Yu family watched. On the surface of the small family, there was a loud rumble, and countless mud blocks gradually rose into the air. Houses and soil destroyed. Almost most of the land in the entire Xiaojia territory flew up, and many of them were also absorbed into the air by the powerful gravitational force. "Save me," someone desperately clings to the pillars of the house, desperately resisting gravity. When they destroyed the family land in order to seize the treasure, they should not have thought that one day they would also suffer such a catastrophe, right? Damn it. And the Confederate Army? Why hasn't it come yet? There are masters of the Great Lake Realm who are resisting gravity with magic. They didn't take to the air, but what about their people? A family can be promoted to a family with more than 2 Great Lake Realm masters, and they have 4 Great Lake Realms. Except for one of them, who failed in the operation to capture Li Tiansha, and his life and death are uncertain. Now in the family, there are still 3 Great Lake Realm masters. Although the realm is a little lower, only 1 or 2 orders, after all, it is also the Great Evening Realm, isn't it? At this time, a 10-member armed force came from outside, and they looked excited, and finally let them catch this group of evil Zio organizations. "The Saga Alliance is here, ordering you to stop immediately. Otherwise," a white-haired boy suddenly appeared in front of the shouter, and he grinned. "How else? Otherwise, the person who shouted was aggrieved to death, and you grabbed my neck without letting me finish speaking. Otherwise, die? Right?" With a click, his neck was crooked, and Yuanjie threw the body aside in disgust. His expression was extremely grim, and he said to them lightly, "Zio to do things, it is not the turn of others to point fingers. The armed forces are the people of the Huangfu family. They have been enforcing the law for many years, and it is the first time they have seen someone who dares to ignore their identity. Be bold," one of the warriors scolded. "Do you know what we stand for? That's right, since you are disobedient, then we will correct the law on the spot and arrest you back to the alliance of the dead family. Wait for the alliance lord to fall." Being able to catch the members of the Zio organization is so great that they dare not think about it. The Yu family calmly watched the play on the side, but thought on their hearts, "You catch it, if you have the ability, you will catch it." Yuanjie shook his head. "I think that saying one more word to you shows that I have no intelligence." Green spiritual power water vapor instantly appeared on his body. Bliss, pure land. Yuanjie's right fist suddenly glowed blue. And he threw a punch into the ground, and within a radius of 100 meters, the surface of the ground cracked. Countless mud blocks rose into the air and flew together with the armed forces. From the perspective of others, his movements are slow, but the power in it is incomparably great. Time seemed to be frozen, and the armed forces of the Huangfu family that soared into the air had no power to resist. Yuanjie bombarded the sky with a punch and raised his right hand. The mud and the human body are all shattered. Red rain fell in the sky, mixed with falling human debris. Chapter 119. Yuanjie frowned. This move is indeed very violent. The scene is so ferocious. With a click, the armed forces of the Huangfu family were smashed into slag by a punch and scattered everywhere. Someone couldn't help but run to the side and vomited. It's atrocious. Even the eyeballs are divided into parts. Vomiting. I have killed more than tens of thousands in my life, and it is the first time I have seen such a cruel killing move. He's still a student. How can he get into such a dead hand? There was a lot of discussion in the Yu family camp, and Yu Huaxia glared at them and suddenly closed his mouth. Yuanjie, Susu, and Zionan looked calm. Yuanjie opened the Shinluo heavenly sign, so that the human body fragments did not fall on his body. At this time, the huge moon above the small family has begun to take shape, and I don't know how many family members are sealed inside. And those who stayed on the ground and luckily did not go to heaven were relieved. Yuanjie took off into the air and said to everyone on the ground, "Do you think this is the end?" Xiangan, the light blue short-haired girl wearing Xiangan's black robe, suddenly stretched out a pair of huge wings behind her back. She flew into the air like an angel. Zionan's hands spilled countless papers, and the longer and bigger his wings, he could actually completely wrap an artificial moon with a diameter of 1,000 meters. The Yu family was shocked. Finally, Zionan broke his wings and flew towards Yuanjie. She held 1,000 paper cranes in her right hand and threw it out with an indifferent expression. It's now, let the divine power come. The 1,000 paper cranes are like a cluster of flames, igniting all the detonation charms attached to the artificial moon. Bang bang explosions exploded one after another, detonating the boulder condensed into the Earth's explosion stars, turning into the most beautiful fireworks in the sky. The power of the explosion is amazing. The boulder was blown into countless fragments, and in the sky, small meteorites were formed, constantly bombarding the territory of the small family. The family who originally thought that they could escape the disaster revealed despair in their eyes. The masters of the Great Late Realm in the family have used their strongest tricks one after another, wanting to resist the attack of meteorites. However, they could block a few, but they couldn't stop the steady stream of meteorites falling towards them. In the end, the entire small family turned into a sea of fire, like a purgatory on Earth. Yuanjie frowned. This move was really shocking. She was shocked not by Yuanjie, but by the mysterious woman named Xiaonan. This physique, why have you never seen it? It can actually turn the body into countless papers. The key is that this paper is not ordinary white paper, but a detonation charm. Oh my god. If she goes all out, she can completely drop a high-ranking god in a fixed second. No. Yuanjie shook her head and muttered, even a family can hardly resist her round bombardment. Her gaze once again moved to the light blue short-haired woman who flew side by side with Yuanjie. Looking at her bone age, it should not be more than 20 years old. When did a legendary SSS-level genius quietly appear in Daksha? She originally thought that the Yu family had hidden deep enough, but she didn't expect that there was still one. Could it be someone from the hidden gate, soon? She dismissed the idea. It is impossible for the hidden door to be born. If today's Dao law is damaged, they will come out one by one and die one by one. So if it's not someone from the hidden door, who will it be? Yuhozu was upset and thought of a lot in an instant. Huangfu Alliance Master, you have been a shrunken hooded turtle for a long time. Yuanjie's indifferent voice came from high in the air, and everyone present heard it. Everyone looked at each other, but they couldn't see the figure of Huangfu Gaogayan. Huangfu Gaogayan appeared with a displeased expression. He didn't understand why the other party would find him. The most crucial problem is that since he has long known that he is here, he has recklessly continued to exterminate the family, and even put an end to the armed forces of the Huangfu family. Yuanjie, do you know that you are killing innocents indiscriminately? Huangfu Gaogayan didn't care. He first stood on the moral high ground and reprimanded the other party. Yuanjie smiled contemptuously. Huh? Innocent? Eating human flesh steamed buns as they deserve. You tell me they are innocent. Yuanjie, a flying thunder god, teleported to the face of Huangfu Gaogayan. He gently patted the other party's shoulder, and said heavily, every family should not pity them with innocence. The Huangfu palace is bursting with qi. He quietly pinched the knot seal in his hand, ready to take advantage of his unprepared to kill Yuanjie. In that case, there is no need to talk about it. His spiritual power turned into a short blade and slashed at the other party. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be a fake. Yuanjie, who he attacked with all his strength, turned into crows and dispersed. This is scapegoat? For the first time, Huangfu Gaogayan felt that this kid was a little difficult, and all kinds of endless means were becoming more and more difficult to kill. Seeing that Huangfu Gaogayan made a move, Xiaonan made a cold face, raised his hand, and thousands of paper cranes appeared in front of her, flying directly towards him. Dare to move my brother? Huangfu Gaogayan was shocked. He hurriedly retreated, and a series of explosions almost deafened his eardrums. However, there are still many thousands of paper cranes chasing him to explode. Wait a minute, I was impulsive just now. I'm sorry. He was a mid-level god of the 6th order of the Great Evening Realm, and he was now very embarrassed. Fortunately, the other gods of the Huangfu family came to his rescue. However, the process is very difficult. The 6 gods of the Huangfu family came, but 4 were injured. The power of Xiaonan alone blew up their 6 gods. Huangfu Gaogayan's heart was shocked. He couldn't imagine that this mysterious Xiao organization was so terrifying. Forget about the Yuanjie sister and brother. It seems that this Xiaonan is also an SSS-level physique, and his cultivation is up to the 9th order of the Great Late Realm. Susa stationed the magic staff in his hand on the ground, and a palpitating aura came to his face. What? Big Night? Huangfu Gaogayan originally didn't believe it. He didn't believe that there would be a powerful resident above the Big Night in the Xiao organization. But now I see it with my own eyes and feel it with my own eyes. There's nothing wrong with that. There must be nothing wrong with that. This breath definitely can't be the Great Evening Realm. It will only go higher. Definitely the legendary realm. He stumbled over, no longer caring about the demeanor of the Alliance Master. Even the other gods of the Huangfu family turned pale. Are you kidding me? The strongman of this bullhead mask has already determined that it is above the Big Knight, so the other strongman Hu Huaxu said has quite a relationship with Yuanjie. Is it okay to hammer the stone above the Big Knight realm? An organization, above 2 Big Knights, is already invincible. Rain melts into snow and wants to slap yourself. She was originally joking, but she didn't expect the joke to come true. Zio Organization really has a Big Knight. Are you special? I repeat, if you know how to do things, it is not the turn of others to point fingers. Chapter 120. Susu's words are domineering. However, no one dared to come out and refute it. This is a world where martial arts is respected, not that you study well, have a high IQ, or that you have a superior background. You can casually look down on people. As long as you have strength, even if it is, anyone will kneel and lick you. Although Huangfu Gaogayan sounded uncomfortable, he didn't dare to say anything nonsense. This is the words of a super strong man above the night. He dares to say half a word, doesn't he? Can't. If this sentence was said by Li Qing, the academy, it is estimated that he would slap it on the spot. The family is arrogant and unreasonable, and has absolute dominance in the Great Xia dynasty. Isn't it because they have a strength that the royal family is afraid of? Not to mention that mysterious bullhead mask powerhouse, Zionan alone, with the cultivation of the 5th order of the Great Evening Realm, can chase the 6 gods of the Huangfu family to fight. Is this scientific? Then Huangfu Gaogayan looked back at the magic staff in the hands of the mysterious powerhouse above the night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, my god. A gemstone representing the 6 elements. Could she be? Huangfu Gaogayan is even more afraid. The Yu family, an SSS-level genius, can dominate the family alliance with the cultivation of the 6th order of the Great Late Realm, and even become the first god of the Great Xia dynasty. So what if the big guy above this Big Knight is also an SSS-level physique? This is only because I went back to dissolve the alliance. The strong man was in front, and Huangfu Gaogayan had to bow his head. Yuanjie watched the play on the side, taking in the ever-changing faces of everyone in the family. He was very relieved and felt that he had achieved his purpose by inviting Sister Susu out of the mountain this time. If his Zio organization does not show a little strength, the future development will definitely be suppressed. Now it's just to destroy a few small families that can't even rank in the top 20, and there are people who are holding the banner of the Saga Alliance here to point fingers and obstruct in every way. What about the 4th-ranked Zhou family in Jingchang in the future? Yuanjie's current strength, against the gods of the previous family alliance, although he can't fight, he can run. However, this group of families will also be very annoying to jump a few gods out from time to time to obstruct themselves and even threaten the people around them. It's better to show the sword directly, let them have some fears, and stop crooked thoughts. Some people may say, since the strength of the Zio organization is so strong, can't it just break up the family alliance? No, 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 Yuanjie is of great use to keep them. Let's not mention the paradox that the family is all bad. No matter how the family alliance makes trouble, they are also Daksha people in the final analysis. It is precisely because of the existence of the 28 gods of the family that other countries dare not invade Daksha at will. Moreover, the current attitude and style of the royal family are not clear, and with a powerful family alliance to contain and restrain them, Yuanjie's future actions will be more free. Against the family, he has no pressure, and may be praised for the skywalk. But if you fight against a royal family, it is difficult to move in terms of reputation and action. Yuanjie now only hopes that the group of people in the royal family will be wiser and not as brainless as some families. Huangfu Palace Yun respectfully saluted, politely invited Susa to the family alliance to drink tea, saw that the other party was not moved, and consciously took the gods of the Huangfu family to leave. On the other side, the Yu family was even kinder to Yuanjie, and even in this operation, they sent 200,000 more gold spirit coins than before. When the money is gone, you can earn it again, but as an absolute master, there are not many opportunities to make friends. In order to leave a good impression on Susu, the Yu family can be said to have laid down blood this time. Not only did they send 700,000 gold spirit coins, but there were also countless precious spirit beast crystals. This money, not to mention the acquisition of the territory and property of this small family. Even if it is to buy the life of this family, it is enough to die several times. Let's go. Thank you for the hospitality of the Yu family. There will be a period later. Welcome to come often. The door of the Yu family will always be open for Zio. When the rain turned into snow, a spatial vortex appeared, and after Yuanjie and the others disappeared, they exhaled heavily and breathed out a turbid breath. The mysterious powerhouse above that night just now brought her too much oppression. She didn't dare to speak casually, for fear that a word or even a word would offend the person. It is not easy for the Yu family to develop to this point, and she does not want to be buried here. Huangfu Gaogayan also thought so. He didn't dare to mention the matter of the secret forest now. He could only pray in his heart that Brother Ji would forget about it. On the other side, the Wang family and the others have been waiting here for a long time. Today, Wang Qing was not at the scene, and she has been sullen since she was rejected miserably yesterday afternoon. So she didn't go out, so she huddled herself in her room and didn't even go to school. Let's do it, a magnetic male voice sounded, and Wang Badian looked back. He was still wondering, why did Yuanjie suddenly arrive, and he couldn't find out more about a mid-level god of the Sixth Order of the Great Late Realm? I saw that behind Yuanjie, there was a woman wearing a bull's head mask, crossing thousands of miles in one step. She stood in the void and flew directly above the little family. For her realm, even if she doesn't use wings, she can step on the air and levitate. She swiped lightly with her bare hand, no seals, no need for any mantras. The red gem on the staff lit up, and a rain of fire fell in the sky. This is, Wang Badian was shocked, and his old face was as pale as paper. The flame is not large, but the majestic energy surging out of it is extremely hot. In a moment, an entire territory of the small family was set on fire. The people inside, not even the slightest sound could be made, and they were directly erased. Yes, that's right, directly no one is gone, like a puff of smoke being blown away and disappearing without a trace. This shocking method stunned the Decepticon brother. How had he ever seen such a scene? Hundreds of thousands of people, in an instant, were erased from the traces of heaven and earth. Such a terrible means? It's terrible. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, he wouldn't even have dreamed of it. Decepticon old ancestor. Is this territory going to help your Wang family demolish it? Yuanjie asked with a smile. Wang Badian ignored his words, but instead stared solemnly at the bull-headed mask in the air. He couldn't even see the other party's cultivation clearly. Really, Wang Badian suddenly remembered the words of the head of the Yu family who melted into snow. In the Zio organization, there's someone I can't see his cultivation clearly. It is very likely to be above the night. Originally, he thought that the other party was joking, but people really didn't joke with you. How many years? 500 years, right. There are actually people in this land who can break through the shackles of the heavenly Dao and advance to that legendary realm above the Great Night. Originally, the Wang family had a temporary cooperation mentality towards this Zio organization. Anyway, after passing through this village, they didn't want to have any contact with them. But now it's different. The strength of the Zio organization is actually so strong. Wang Badian's mind suddenly changed. If our Wang family maintains in-depth cooperation with the Zio organization in the future, it will not be impossible to surpass the Huangfu family and reach the top of the first family one day. Chapter 121. It can only be said that Wang Badian's thoughts are the same as rain and snow. Now, he regretted it, knowing that he would not promote the Saga Alliance to next those dozen academies before. Now, it is difficult to have a better relationship with Yuanjie. He once looked for Li Qing and wanted to go through the back door and let Wang Qing enter the desolate ancient academy to study, but Li Qing's oil and salt did not enter, so he said that he would not let go. Thinking of this, Wang Badian immediately arranged for his subordinates to take 2 more boxes, that is, 100,000 gold spirit coins. After Yuanjie saw it, he smiled and did not speak. He did not shirk, and accepted it generously. Strong man, go slowly. Wang Beixiandu smiled and waved his hand to send off the group of people in auspicious cloud-black robes to leave. After Yuanjie and the others disappeared, Wang Badian muttered, I don't know if Huangfu Gaogayan's old man knows about this. If he doesn't know, he can arch the fire and let him charge. Sister Yuanjie, I'm not going back to the castle. I want to follow my brother, Yuanjie. What about a good girlfriend in a lifetime? Feelings fade and fade. She didn't say much, just turned back to Yuanjie and instructed Zionan to take good care of Zianan. Yuanjie and Susu went back to their old place. Under normal circumstances, they rarely came out when they had to do so. Yuanjie is a cultivation maniac who cultivates hard day and night, and Susu is worried that she will be discovered by the heavenly Dao, so she usually shrinks in a different dimension with Yuanjie. Xiaonan, you go to Shenwei space first. I don't want it, I'll follow you. Xiaonan frowned, finally found a flower similar to her brother. She was unwilling to let go. Yuanjie covered his head. Well, he could only take her back to the villa to explain to Li Tiansha honestly. Shallow, good news for you. Li Tiansha was cooking in the kitchen at this time, and she asked without looking back, what good news? You have one more, young sister-in-law. She put down the knife she was chopping vegetables, wiped her hand on her apron, and turned to see a young girl with light blue shoulder-length short hair, and she was wearing a paper flower decoration on her head. This sister is. Xiaonan stretched out his hand generously, shook it a little, and introduced himself. Hello sister, I am my brother's sister, just call me Xiaonan. Sister, Li Tiansha's suspicious gaze turned to Yuanjie. Yuanjie touched his head and said helplessly, she said it was my sister, but in fact, I don't know what's going on. Xiaonan grabbed his arm and said affectionately, brother, it's normal for you to have amnesia, I will definitely remind you of mine. How many cents does this have to do with amnesia? Are you sure your brother is me? However, if you have an older sister, at least life will not be so boring. Yuanjie returned to the living room, sat on the sofa, and turned on the TV with her legs up. Unexpectedly, Xiaonan also learned from him in a similar way. He quickly put his feet in place. It doesn't matter if he is a big man, the problem is the skirt Xiaonan wears, how unsightly it is. After a while, Yuanjie got up, and Xiaonan also stood up. Brother, where are you going? I'll go release the water. Don't follow. Yuanjie was speechless. Oh, the lunch was very hearty. There was fish and meat. Yuanjie ate with relish. And Xiaonan looked at him with relish. Yuanjie took the paper she handed over and wiped his mouth gently. Seeing her appearance, I couldn't help frowning. You don't eat? I'm full. Good guy. Directly use paper to change into chopsticks and spoons. Don't do anything. No wonder you eat so quickly. Sister, I think you should find something to do instead of following me all the time. Xiaonan was aggrieved and said, where can I go? Our parents are dead, and I only have one brother left. Li Tiansha looked sideways, sympathy in her eyes. She gently held Xiaonan's hand and comforted, it's okay sister Xiaonan, you can go to school with us. Really? Xiaonan's eyes lit up. She had never been to school, and school was new to her. Of course, you let your brother ask the principal. Yuanjie felt that this was a good idea. Since she was interested, let her come to the class together. After the lunch break, Yuanjie knocked on the door of the dean's office. Please come in. Yuanjie pushed the door in. Li Qing was riding hard. He asked without raising his head, is there something wrong? Dean, I want to fight for a place for transfer students. Hearing this voice, Li Qing raised his head, and he smiled. It turned out to be Yuanjie. Huh? What's wrong? Can you tell me, who would like to come in? Yuanjie is the top physique of the academy and the treasure of the town courtyard. Li Qing will naturally treat him favorably, no matter what the requirements, as long as they are not excessive, they will naturally be satisfied. At a glance, he noticed a paper flower hanging on Yuanjie's chest, and thought that young people could play and have taste. My sister, I want her to be in our class. Want to plug in the back door to the elite class? This requires, it seems, a little. Seeing Li Qing's hesitant look, Yuanjie knew that this would be the case. At this time, Li Qing witnessed the paper flowers on the other party's chest flying, and then the paper flowers bloomed, turning into wide and flawless paper. The paper eventually converges into the shape of a maiden. This is my sister, Xiaonan. Li Qing was so surprised that he couldn't speak, even though he had lived for 300 years, it was the first time he had seen such a physique. What is the Constitution? It can actually turn the human body into a blank piece of paper and reassemble it. Li Qing narrowed his eyes and said, your sister is not simple. Yuanjie smiled. I don't know what kind of physique she is, but I suggest that the dean can explore her cultivation first. Do you still need to ask? Such a special physique, rare in the world, must be SSS level. Li Qing fixed his eyes. Good fellow, actually reached the cultivation of the 5th order of the Great Late Realm? What does a big evening realm with an SSS level physique mean? Back then, Yuanjie used his cultivation to slash the 32 ranked fan family god under the horse. Did it that Xiaonan in front of him say? Can't even beat me? Xiaonan stood beside Yuanjie obediently, and he could see that their relationship must be very unusual. After Li Qing figured it out, he smiled and nodded. Good, I agreed. So, he picked up the phone on his desk and informed the leader of the teaching office to come over. This is a new classmate in our class, called, Yuanjie answered. Xiaonan. Oh yes, Yuan Xiaonan. That's it. The director of the teaching office frowned. Dean, which class do you arrange for a person to enter? Do you have to join the elite class? The physique is SSS-level, and her cultivation is the fifth order of the Great Late Realm. The director of the teaching office, who was silently registering, raised his head abruptly. His eyes widened. Headmaster, what did you just say? I didn't hear clearly. Chapter 122. The teaching director of the Wasteland Academy raised his head, looked at Dean Li Qing with inquiring eyes, and then looked at Xiaonan. Her eyes were full of disbelief. Li Qing sighed, helplessly took out a small detector from the shelf, and motioned for Xiaonan to drop blood into it. After seeing Yuanjie nodding, she did not hesitate to poke her finger with a piece of paper, and a drop of blood entered the detector. Suddenly, the whole office was shining. That's right, it's this light, Li Qing said excitedly, even more excited than when he had awakened his F-grade physique. Even the teaching director looked shocked. She had been teaching for many years, and naturally knew what this level of light represented. The glow lasted for a long time, about a minute, and became more intense. Li Qing frowned. He felt a little wrong, but he couldn't tell what was wrong. Eventually, the results finally showed. Physical Imperial Line, SSS level. At this point, the director finally believed it. I can't imagine that our Daksha has a third SSS level physique this year. God bless my Daksha. The director of education burst into tears. Everyone who has been out of the peaceful environment and has been on the battlefield will experience firsthand the difficulties of the country. That's why they love the land more than the people who only type at the keyboard at home. This is not brainwashing, but subtle, from the heart. The director of education is no exception. She joined the army 200 years ago and was not discharged from the army until decades ago. The teaching director's face flushed, and she held Xiaonan's hand tightly and looked at her deeply. After a long time, he said 3 words. Good. 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 Li Qing smiled and said, Old fan, do you know what to do now? The teaching director straightened his waist, patted his chest and replied, Naturally, the desolate ancient academy has never bared a single talent. If anyone has an opinion, let them come to me. Li Qing nodded. He just wanted this sentence. He was a huge dean. How could he have so much time to deal with these trivial things? Therefore, the teaching director quickly tailored the school badge and school uniform and solemnly handed them over to Xiaonan. I hope that in the end, you will live up to God's gift. Xiaonan was confused throughout the whole process, and in her time, there was no concept of a state. 100,000 years ago, it was divided into human, beast and orc. The Terrans, each family is one country. However, when foreign tribes invaded, they were extremely united with the outside world. However, Xiaonan was also infected by the emotions of the teaching director, and she nodded heavily. After all the formalities are completed, the class has begun. The teaching director personally took Yuanjie and Xiaonan to an elite class. Excuse me, Teacher Zhang. The spiritual power data teacher on the stage immediately gave up his position and stood silently on the side. The teaching director said with a full breath, Next, I would like to solemnly introduce your new students to everyone. This is Xiaonan. I hope you will help each other in the future and go to the top of the strong together. Snap, thunderous applause. Many students under the podium looked at this girl with short light blue hair curiously. I couldn't help but wonder why someone suddenly transferred over. They have not questioned Xiaonan's talent. Who can enter the elite class? Which one is not a first-class genius like themselves? Yuanjie led Xiaonan to a seat. The class is large, but there are not many students, so there are many places left. Yuanjie sat with Li Tiansha, and Xiaonan sat silently on his left. 2 top beauties surrounded him. Fortunately, there are very few men in this world, otherwise, there may be some red-eyed brain dead to make trouble with him. There was nothing to do in the afternoon, and the later course was basically a cultural class, but Yuanjie listened with relish, and he learned more about this strange world. In the first class of the Akatsuki Academy, the elite class suddenly transferred a young girl, and the news quickly spread throughout the academy. Because of Xianan's arrival, it broke the elite 12-member system that the Wasteland Academy had maintained for tens of thousands of years. Many people will think, why can she be directly assigned to the elite class? Why not me? People are jealous, and the more talented people are, the easier it is to be jealous of others. So, some students came to the school leader's office en masse. The dean's office and the head of education's office were all closed and did not listen to them. This matter was actually spread to other places, and even the Henshi Academy of the Saga Alliance received the wind. Ha. Sure enough, Arigo is also a layman, and he must not be tempted. If I want to say, it's just that you arrange a genius, but if you quietly arrange a student without any background to enter, it's hard not to let people think. Let's take a good look at how the desolate ancient side ends. The next day, a list of students was posted on the campus bulletin board of Ariku College. It records the physique, level, and enhanced attributes of the students in each class. When everyone curiously turned their eyes to the first class, they saw a scene that they would never forget. My God! There are actually 2 SSS-level physiques in a class? Where? Yuanjie, I know. Who else is it? Yuanjie. The defeated Yuan family actually produced 3 SSS-level geniuses in one family? The most unacceptable thing is, why is it so surnamed Yuan? Are you kidding me? The author of the novel does not dare to write so. After the class of students found out, during the class, they looked back in shock at the girl with short light blue hair, and the paper flower decoration on the girl's head was particularly conspicuous. Not only that, there were many curious students gathered outside the class, all wanting to see the face of the second SSS-level genius. Brother? Why are they all looking at me? Xiaonan lowered his head and muttered. Yuanjie smiled and said, it's okay, they don't know anything about God, so they are curious. Xiaonan replied in a low voice. The second SSS-level genius of the Wasteland Academy came out, and this news shocked the world. Even the royal family was shocked, and the brush in the middle-aged man's hand fell off, dyeing black and white. Fortunately, it appeared in the Wasteland Academy. At the very least, it is not bad news. Feng Yu from the 6-Dao Academy came to Li Qing's office with flying steps. Teacher, the student has a reluctant request. Nope, Feng Yu said with a sad face. Teacher, your desolate ancient academy already has an SSS-level genius. Can you give Yuanjie to our 6-Dao Academy? Li Qing replied with a smile on his face. I said it all. No, it can't be. Feng Yu, the dean of the 6-Dao Academy, was stunned. Why? Because Yuanjie and Yuanjie are brothers and sisters. Even if I promise you, they can't be separated. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123. After listening to Li Qing's explanation, Feng Yu sighed helplessly. Okay, Li Qing patted him on the shoulder and comforted. You don't want to think about it, isn't Yuanjie from your academy, right? You don't lose. Feng Yu smiled happily. Yes, Yuanjie is a student of the 6-Dao Academy. Although she is not in school now, her legend is still there. It's all for the cultivation of talents in Daksha, it doesn't matter. Li Qing poured a cup of tea for him and said, by the way, do you know Yuanjie's current skills? Feng Yu shook his head and said, I don't know, the last time I saw her was a year ago. Their Yuan family is really amazing, and one family has contributed 3 SSS-level geniuses. Yes, Feng Yu had to sigh. After Li Qing filled the tea, he took a leisurely sip, and he looked out the window. The world is not peaceful now. Why did the teacher say this? Before there were foreign spirit beasts and foreign countries, and then there were family chaos. Li Qing stood with his hands in his hands, his eyes deep. In fact, there are very few things we can teach SSS-level geniuses, and with this kind of heavenly physique, even if you don't enter the academy to study, you can naturally grow into hegemon. What we have to do is to protect them unconditionally and prevent them from dying halfway. Feng Yu nodded thoughtfully, but he suddenly thought of something. Speaking of this, I have to criticize Yuanjie. He has his own talent, he makes trouble everywhere, and sooner or later he will fall. Li Qing glanced back at him and said faintly, do not persuade others to be kind without suffering others. I believe that Yuanjie has a sense of proportion. Besides, he still has 2 strong sisters and sisters. Let me ask, who can move him? If someone dares to make a big taboo against him, even if they fight for our old life, we must save him. On the other side, the weekly Family Alliance meeting was held as scheduled. This office, suddenly there were 8 fewer people, which made everyone a little unaccustomed. Lord, is everyone all right? If you have nothing to do, let's disperse, and go back to each house to pick up the children. Huangfu Gaogayan interrupted the words of the people below and directly announced the dispersal of the group. The person who spoke had to hold the words in his stomach. The majesty of Huangfu Gaogayan is still very large, not only related to his iron-fisted means, but most importantly, the Huangfu family is strong enough. Which one in the Saga Alliance is not a human spirit? They naturally understood the attitude of the Alliance Master. That is, I don't want to listen, I don't want to care, I don't want to care. Many small families were cold. Originally the sudden disappearance of the Jin family and the Ning family made them a little afraid, but if they thought about it, they were all big families and had nothing to do with themselves. But this time it was a small family that died, just like himself. Maybe one day it will be his turn. The Saga Alliance, a total of more than 100 Saga joined. Except for the top 20 families, the others are all small families, accounting for the vast majority. The heads of the small family exchanged glances with each other, and they all saw the dissatisfaction in each other's hearts and shook their heads one after another. The next day, a small family came to Huangfu's house and personally submitted an application for withdrawal. Huangfu Gaogayan raised his eyebrows. Withdraw from the alliance? Is the Saga Alliance a way to enter if you want, and leave if you want? Do you think this is a wet market? He said with a flat expression. You can think clearly. Once you withdraw from the alliance, the students of your family will not be able to study at Ashenshi Academy under the alliance. Of course, the desolate 6-Dao over there will not want you. The people of the small family reacted to this. It turned out that the family alliance engaged in this Ashenshi Academy. In fact, it was not for everyone's welfare. The real purpose was to kidnap them. Now there are only 2 academies in Daksha. One is the desolate ancient and 6-Dao Academy, which was established for secular commoners, and the other is the Ashenshi Academy that specializes in providing education for the children of the family. There is no alternative to these 2 factions. Some people may ask, it's a big deal that the little families will build another academy on their own. But the question is, who takes the lead? Who pays the money? Even the average score is much more expensive than staying in the league. The academy is really not so easy to do. Unless 50 small families have withdrawn, the average amount of money can be accepted by everyone. But now, as far as a few of them want to withdraw, the consequence of withdrawing is that the children of the clan have no books to read and nowhere to go. Some people hesitated. They wanted to gamble, bet that they would not be exterminated. Emperor Fu Alliance Lord, excuse me, just because we haven't come. Finally, they relented. Huangfu Gaogayan waved his hand behind their backs, did not speak, and signaled to see off the guests. His eyes were very gloomy, and he could think that his recent style would cause discomfort to some small families, but he didn't expect that this day would come so soon. It seems that you have to knock and knock on that group of people, and you can't let them have thoughts that they shouldn't have. The Saga Alliance is not only relying on the first 20 families to support the scene, but also the dozens of small families below are equally important. Without them, there would be no alliance. The so-called alliance, only when there are many people is called an alliance. At 3 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the night, Jo Kai walked to the yard wearing a coat, and she couldn't sleep. Nothing that has happened recently has been directed at oneself invisibly. Of the 12 small families that were united before, there are no more 8, and the remaining 4 are old and dead and do not communicate with each other, for fear of being discovered. Speaking of which, the 8 masters of the small family who were arrested and tortured were very righteous, and only confessed to the Zhou family, and the other small families did not say it. An autumn breeze blew through, and Zhou Kaianyu had to cover her coat tightly and walk back to the house. She couldn't sleep, brushed the small video, but there was no smile. She only felt that the group in the video were all clowns, funny in order to force funny. At this time, she received a foreign language email in her mailbox, and she clicked it curiously. Using the translator that came with her phone, she understood. What? Sent by the Flying Eagle country? After reading the contents of the email, she was shocked. It said that he hoped to cooperate deeply with the Zhou family. The Flying Eagle country is the second most powerful country in the world, second only to Daksha. The peculiarity of this country is that there are not many strong people awakened by nature, but the technology is very developed. They actually created a magical potion that allows people with no or low constitution to stimulate hidden genes in their bodies. To put it simply, it is through injection of potions, which can mass-produce strong people with A-class or even S-grade physiques. As for what the side effects are, everyone must also know. Now, the Flying Eagle country wants to sneak into the Great Xia dynasty to sell medicine through the line of the Zhou family. They took a fancy to the economically prosperous region of Daxia and wanted to make a fortune from it. There are many people in the Great Xia kingdom, and the proportion of people who can naturally awaken excellent physiques is definitely very small. Especially the families who have people and money, there is definitely a huge demand for their potions. And the Zhou family is most suitable for doing this kind of smuggling, because the leader of the Great Xia mansion, who is in charge of imports, is the person of their Zhou family. Chapter 124. Zhou Qianyu carefully read the content of the email several times, and couldn't help but gasp for air, but her body became hot. Because the Flying Eagle country promised that if it cooperated with the Zhou family, it would give away 5 bottles of potions that could awaken the SS-level physique for free as a reward. Is the human body transformed? Zhou Qianyu frowned. Because Daxia strictly controlled the import and export items and even the population, she had never touched these things, and she always felt that it was not very reliable. She didn't rush to reply and went back to her room to sleep. But turning over and over has never calmed down. She is worried, if her own family does not agree, then the Flying Eagle Congress will not find other families to cooperate. This is 5 bottles of SS-level evolution potions. If they are given to the Zhou family will immediately have 5 more new gods. The divine position, who has high combat effectiveness, can sit on it, and combat effectiveness is closely related to physique. Therefore, now the Zhou family has many masters of the Great Late Realm, but because their physique is only A or S level, their strength cannot take a step forward. Our Zhou family now has 1 high god, 2 middle gods, and 1 low god. If there are 5 more middle and low gods, 4 plus 5 equals, doesn't that mean? Will the strength be stronger than the first family, Huangfu family? Note, the top 10 gods are called high gods, 11 to 30 are middle gods, and 31 to 50 low gods. I have to say, she was moved. Thinking that the Zhou family could be promoted from the 4th family to the 1st overnight, who could resist this temptation? Now, she was almost certain that the Akatsuki Organization had set its sights on the Zhou family, and instead of sitting still, it was better to take the initiative to attack. With this in mind, she replied to the email without hesitation. On the other side, the Flying Eagle country, due to the time difference, the Flying Eagle country is just late in the evening at this time, preparing for nightfall. Duke, the Zhou family replied and agreed to cooperate. The liaison paused for a moment, however, she asked if there was a potion that could evolve to the SSS-level physique. Duke Dupont smiled disdainfully. The people of Daxia are really greedy. If we have SSS-level potions, will it be their turn to be the first in the world? Politely rebuffed her, saying no, but we have a lot of S-grade potions. By the way, the medicine bottle indicates a little, recommended for men. The effect is better. Dupont took a big sip of his cigar and exhaled a thick smoke. The potion belongs to the forcible modification of genes, which is against the heavens and the life. The life expectancy of the injected person will be greatly reduced, and the biggest disadvantage is that it will affect the genes of the offspring for a long time. If the strengthening potion can flood in the Great Xia dynasty, in less than 500 years, the entire Great Xia dynasty will no longer be able to produce any naturally awakened people. All of them will be waste firewood. This is the real purpose of the Flying Eagle country. In the territory of Daxia, the Flying Eagle country sent a supernatural who could change his appearance and body shape to negotiate with the Zhou family. Better for men. Zhou Qianyu felt a little wrong. However, there are few men in the clan. And they are all good tools for reproduction, and she naturally will not be stupid enough to sacrifice them in order to become stronger. In the end, the Zhou family and the Flying Eagle country had a good conversation, and the two sides shook hands and cooperated in a 7-3 split. After returning home, Zhou Jin couldn't help but ponder. The attitude of the other party is too friendly to be true. She was not stupid, naturally smelled an unusual smell, and vaguely felt that there was a conspiracy. The other party just said that the side effects of injecting people will reduce their life expectancy for 100 years in the future, and there must be something else behind it. It's just that it's about her Zhou families. She is not the virgin. She is too lazy to care about other people's affairs, as long as her own family becomes stronger. Thinking of this, she took out a bottle of SS-level physique evolution potion and arranged for the great evening realm masters in the clan to inject it. 3 days later, feeling the surging breath flowing from the subject's body, she clenched her fists. A new god is born. The rise of our Zhou family is just around the corner. So, she quickly contacted the official in charge of import and export in the family and arranged various matters for them. The reason why Yuanjie did not strike the Zhou family while the iron was hot was because he was in the 10th cultivation stage. Before, he drew 10 5-fold cultivation experience cards, and he was cultivating hard day and night. Unfortunately, the experience card does not have a bonus to the daily sweep, only has a bonus effect on active cultivation. 10 days later, he opened his eyes. The 7th order of the fusion realm, the results of his cultivation were remarkable. His strength had increased by more than 10 times, and now his Susanoo was 500 meters high, and the 6 modes could be more durable. At this time, pain appeared in the human way. Heavenly Dao, congratulations on getting out of the customs. Yuanjie nodded and asked her, has anything strange happened recently? Human Dao was a civil engineering dual-element SS-level legal royal powerhouse before his death, good at the art of mayflies, and can hide in the earth and grass at any time to eavesdrop and investigate. Just like Heiju, he is a good intelligence agent. Human Dao thought for a while, and then said, yes, now in the small family of Jingcheng, a strengthening potion has suddenly become popular. Fortification potion, Yuanjie raised his eyebrows. That's right, it's the kind of potion that can evolve the physique, and can transform a person without physique into an A-class or even S-class powerhouse. Yuanjie was shocked. Isn't this bridge the same as the captain of Country X? No. It's more like a black-robed reconnaissance team. If this potion floods the mortal world, when ordinary people have superpowers, if the demons in their hearts are awakened by powerful forces, it may cause chaos in the world. Yuanjie realized the seriousness of the matter, and he arranged for the human Dao to continue to investigate, making sure to find out the source of the potion. The human ward answered, then dived to the surface and disappeared. Yuanjie moved his muscles and then walked to the classroom. The SSS-level genius Yuanjie, who had disappeared for 10 days, appeared in the class again, and many people were surprised. Although the students knew that he was cultivating, in their hearts, how could cultivation go to class quickly? The academy's curriculum includes a lot of practical lessons, where teachers simulate various scenarios for them to fight, gain experience in battle, and have secret rooms that can increase the speed of cultivation. What they didn't know was that Yuanjie only needed to open the immortal art, meditate at home, and constantly absorb the natural energy of heaven and earth, and he could increase his spiritual power much faster than ordinary people. Now, the spiritual power pool in Yuanjie's body, although it is still those dozen carps. However, the appearance of the carp has changed drastically, and it seems that they are waiting for the opportunity to turn into a dragon by leaping through the dragon gate. Shallow, Xiaonan, long time no see, brother, when you practice, I'm so bored. Xiaonan grabbed his arm aggrievedly and said, it's okay, I'll take you out for something delicious tonight. Good. Xiaonan narrowed his eyes happily. At this time, a faint induction made Yuanjie's expression shocked. What? The Dao of the world was actually killed? Chapter 125. Yuanjie touched Xianan's head and said, I have to go out beforehand, you and Sister Tiansha play first. After speaking, without waiting for Xiaonan to respond, there was no one directly. Yuanjie Fei Thunder God returned home, his mind moved, and a broken six-path puppet was summoned from the void. He carefully examined the human path puppet and found that there were only one of the 3 souls and 6 spirits inside. Hell Dao, a petite lolly came out of the Shenwei space, and she directly summoned the Hell Hades. Yuanjie put the damaged human path puppet in, and Yan Wang's mouth chewed one by one, making a scalp-numbing sound. 10 minutes later, the human path came out of Hades' mouth intact. She was surprised to find that she was actually resurrected. Thinking of this, she looked at Yuanjie with extremely hot eyes. Tell me what you just saw. Human Dao saluted, and slowly said, that's right, Lord Heavenly Dao, when I was probing in the small family near the Wang family, I was discovered by a strong man and directly killed me. The Wang family. Yuanjie fell into deep thought. Have you seen what clothes that master is wearing? Ren Dao bowed his head and replied, that's not true. There are 3 questions in front of us now. The first is, why is the human way killed? The Dao of the world has always been only probing, and has never made a move. It stands to reason that after the last bright sword, the people of the Saga Alliance should be afraid of the Zio organization. Since this is the case, seeing that the human road-wearing Xiangai in black robe is still making a move, he must have done something wrong, afraid of being discovered. The second question is, which one made the move? The murderer can be sure to be a family member, a family territory, and mortals are forbidden. There will be no second person who can move freely in the territory of the family, except for them. As for which one did it, Yuanjie first ruled out the Wang family. The Wang family is well aware of the strength of the organization, and it is impossible to make a taboo to attack the human world, and even if it is a move, it is impossible to be near its own territory. Doesn't this make it clear that there is no silver in this place for 300 taels? The third question is, how high is the cultivation of the person who made the shot? What is certain is that with the cultivation of the current 7th order of the great late realm of the human Dao, the one who can find him must be a middle god and above. Yuanjie took out a list from the drawer, which detailed the combat power of the family. This table is the statistics of the Wind and Rain building founded by Sister Susu. There are only 5 families with median gods in the family. The Huangfu family, the Wang family, the Yu family, the Zhou family, and the Yuan family. The Yuan family is in Liusu City, not in Jingcheng. Yuanjie suddenly set his sights on one of the families. He understood, sorted out all his thoughts. He drew a circle on the Zhou character to indicate it. It is not that the 3 major families are not possible, but compared to the Zhou family, the suspicion is less. The Zhou family? It seems that I have to go to the Zhou family tonight. Yuanjie returned to the classroom and quietly waited for night to fall. Ding, class is over, school is out. Many students in the entire Wasteland Academy rushed out of the classroom, went home, and went to the canteen. Yuanjie, on the other hand, took Zionan and the two walked out of the gate of the desolate ancient academy. Li Tiansha did not follow, she still had to cultivate. Brother, where are we going to eat delicious? Yuanjie smiled, just stroll around. The two walked aimlessly on Jingcheng Street. Jingcheng is worthy of being the national capital of Daxia, with many small shops, a lot of delicious things, and a lot of novel things. Yuanjie is also the first time to deeply understand the customs of this other world. The world is very strange, obviously have mobile phones, TVs and other new era things, but the people do not like to use them very much. It is only used to connect and watch dramas, and there are very few people on internet forums. Yuanjie guessed that maybe he was worried that the keyboard would hit too loudly and be cut along the network cable, right? In this world, it is basically a real name system, and it is very simple to find a person. Yuanjie took Zionan all the way to eat, wet bowl cake, coconut ice cream, roasted fairy grass and other desserts. Eating is very happy. Zionan held his hand the whole time, walking on the road with a happy face, as if showing off to others. I have a brother who hurts me, do you have one? A few nights ago, Zionan dreamed of her brother, back 100,000 years ago, and she deeply engraved her brother's face in her mind. After waking up, I found that he really looked exactly like Yuanjie. It was a very strange thing that she couldn't explain. Perhaps after everyone dies, they will be reincarnated. She felt that Yuanjie's personality and behavior were also very similar to her brother's, the same like to poke his forehead, the same gentle tone, the same decisive killing. Before going out, Zionan handed Yuanjie a piece of clothing, which was more similar to wear. It's just that my brother seems to be very interested in Li Tiansha's girl, and sometimes he doesn't have time to pay attention to her. No, my brother can only belong to me, I can't let other girls snatch him. While walking, Yuanjie gradually came to the northeast of Jingcheng, which is the land of the Zhou family. Zionan, you wait first, I'll come when I go. After Yuanjie finished speaking, Xianshao exchanged places with a bird in the air, and Zionan caught a little bird. He opened his immortal arts and white eyes, carefully observing the Zhou family's mansion. It's a little strange, how I feel a lot of powerful breath. Yuanjie's secret investigation made the strong man in the Zhou family mansion sense it. Who is snooping on the Zhou family? A median god of the Zhou family roared lowly. He teleported out of the mansion and found a girl with short light blue hair teasing the bird. Yuanjie saw that someone was approaching Zionan, and quietly transmitted a message to her to be careful, and then continued to investigate inch by inch. For Zionan's strength, he was very relieved, not a high-ranking god could not hurt her at all. A middle god of the Zhou family quietly approached, and he saw that the other party's cultivation was the fifth order of the Great Evening Realm, and in order not to startle the grass, he leaned over vigilantly. "Auntie, are you looking for me?" Suddenly, a cold voice came from behind him. The god of the Zhou family did not have the slightest hesitation, and secretly charged his strength to suddenly attack the rear. Empty, she obviously punched over, but only saw the white paper in the sky. Unexpectedly, the white paper was actually recombined into a person, and it was the woman with short light blue hair just now. "Auntie, your strength is too small," Xiaonan was joking, but her face was cold. She raised her right hand and gently moved her index and middle fingers. The white paper that had separated from her body transformed into sharp arrows in a moment. Dark, still terrible. In the alley outside Zhou's house, there were two shadows up and down. There was blood staining the alley camera red, losing its proper role. The winged shadow in it pushed gently. With a bang, the body of the person standing on the ground fell back stiffly. The alley, quiet was restored, and no sound was made again. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.